get through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travelist and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to another morning without Mike Winters. That's right, I ain't he. That wouldn't be me. No, Mike Winters still off on his westward adventure, sowing his wild oats, I think is the fun terminology that we've determined. It's been brought to my attention that I use a lot of colloquial phrases, unintentionally, by the way. I don't mean to do it. It just sort of like happens that way, but I was raised by old people, I guess. So I just, every now and again I like to, spit out a good old-fashioned consarn it or a 23 skidoo, but yeah, Mike is on his westward adventure, heading. He's out in the Grand Canyon. He's been posting some fantastic pictures, amazing viewpoints from up in that area, and it's nice to see Mike and Kim actually really smile, like real smiles, because when they're here, they're polite, they're doing their job, they're holding down what they got to do, making the ends. But doggone it, you know a real smile from a fake smile. Boy, those smiles are authentic up there, I guess down there in the Grand Canyon. But he's enjoying himself. He'll be back inside your radios this coming Monday morning, assuming he makes it out of the desert alive. I gotta admit, you did pick a really weird time to walk out in the middle of the desert. We're smack dab in the middle of the biggest heat wave basically in the country's history. We're looking at record-setting highs, and you went to Arizona. Dude! I know there's hotels and air conditioning and fine and all that, but you're going to jump on an old style train, the train ride thing. I'm assuming they didn't have air conditioning on those old trains back in the day. Now, granted, they're probably going to make it, add some new world comforts. So there'll probably be some air conditioning, I would hope, in this weather. But in theory, you're staying hydrated, you're doing your thing. But he's enjoying himself, and more power to him. We have plenty to get to in today's show. Coming up here in just a few minutes, around 7:15 or so, going to sit down and chat with Richard Garcia from the Roswell Literacy Council. We've got a big event coming up that we're going to be chatting about, a big event coming up on the Chavez County Courthouse lawn, bringing together lots of great organizations and some local businesses and community leaders. So we'll talk about that coming up here in just a few minutes. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, around 8:15 or so, be sitting down chatting with Juanita Jennings, Public Affairs Director for the City of Roswell. We'll be talking all about the goings-on around the city. It's the busy season as commerce picks back up, tourism definitely picking back up, and so we'll dive into that coming up in just a bit. Coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, yesterday sat down with two County Commissioners Jeff Bilberry and Will Cavan, and we're going to replay that interview coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. They've got a very important meeting coming up tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. Right there in the new building. Going to be talking all about that 30-30 plan and just some of the steps that they're taking to make sure that southeastern New Mexico maintains our position and keeps our seat at the table. We'll dive into that coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. Plus, of course, all your hourly features, which include your local news, your SRN business report, town hall news, and whatever else happens to grace our presence. I do want to mention this. It's coming up a little quicker than you might think. If you are a fan of chemistry, now I've actually seen this show in person. I got to actually see the show in Albuquerque like a year ago, basically is what it was. But this show is coming to Roswell, and if you're a fan of chemistry, of chemical reactions, this is one for you. And trust me, it's one of those. If you grew up watching Mr. Wizard or any of the shows like that, this will definitely scratch that itch for you. You're going to be amazed and entertained by explosions, colored foam, liquid nitrogen, and glow-in-the-dark solutions during the Amazing Chemistry Show and Family Experience. That's coming up July 2nd at Grace Community Church. Now, it's an educationally entertaining stage production using fast-paced and engaging science experiments to captivate kids and adults, all while sharing the love that God has for them. Now, Grace Community Church is going to host this free event at 6 p.m. on July the 2nd. So it's happening at Grace Community Church, 935 West Mescalero Road. The event is absolutely free, but you will need a ticket. Tickets can be picked up at the church office Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. or on Sunday from 9 a.m. to noon. But again, that's coming up 6 p.m. on July the 2nd. That's going to be kicking off a real busy weekend around Roswell Way, because you got that event. You've also got the UFO Festival, the returning UFO Festival. Alien Fest is going to be happening that same weekend. Galacticon is also going to be happening that same weekend. The city actually put out a list of basically a timeline of all the events happening at UFO Festival this year. And let me tell you what, they've got they got quite the plethora of events going to be happening around at various locations around Roswell, including one that I'm very interested in attending. I'm not going to tell you which one because I don't want it to sell out before I can get a ticket. So there you go. But the event's going to be happening fast and crazy over the next few weeks. So get ready, because we were cooped up for quite some time, but now we're hitting the ground with both feet. 12 minutes after 7 o'clock on your Thursday morning. Let's get you up to date with that weather. It's doing it to me again. Here you go. Here's that weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We still have warm downslope wind coming off the mountains, and that'll keep things hot for us over the next couple of days. Sunny and a little bit breezy today. Our afternoon highs between 97 and 100. Overnight it'll be clear, lows in the upper 60s, and then we'll be in the low 100s tomorrow with plenty of sunshine. Looking at the upcoming weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, low 100s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 70 degrees around Roswell Way. Humidity about 41% with a wind speed out of the south at about 5 miles an hour. The barometer sitting at 30.13 inches with a dew point of 45 degrees. You know, I don't even know why I bother giving you the weather, because it's going to be the same thing that you're going to hear for the next several weeks. Sunny, triple digits, and hot. A high of around 100 for today. Winds out of the south 5 to 15 miles an hour for the rest of your Thursday. For tonight, mostly clear. Once the sun goes down, so do the temps. 68 degrees for the overnight low. South winds 5 to 15 miles an hour. Sunny and hot for your Friday as well. 101 for the high. Winds out of the south 5 to 15. Same thing for your overnight hours. 67 degrees, mostly clear. Now they're calling for increased winds after midnight between 15 and 25 miles an hour. So if you've got hatches, make sure to batten them down. Saturday, looking at a high of 103. Sunday, I don't know what Steve was thinking or huffing on or whatever when he said low 100s for your Saturday or for your Sunday, because for Sunday, now we're calling for a high of 109 degrees. 109 on the forecast. And you know, traditionally we go about 3 degrees higher than the forecasted high, which means we're clearing 110 on Sunday. So did he mean the low 110s? I don't know. There you go. A check of your pinpoint forecast. 14 minutes after 7 o'clock. Going to pause, pay a couple of these bills. And after these, going to be sitting down with Mr. Richard Garcia from the Roswell Literacy Council. Stay tuned to another morning without Mike Winters.
I've heard it said, speaking my mind is easy, speaking it tactfully, not so much. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
Proverbs 15:15 says, a gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare. Sometimes my greatest accomplishment is keeping my mouth shut. There are times when we argue that it would be easy to lash out. So I have a choice to make. I can either feed the fire or quench it with my words.
Julie and I have learned there's going to be arguments, but we've learned to fight and argue, not to be right, but to get the situation right.
So the next time you're in an argument, try saying something kind from a genuine heart to bring peace in your marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
customizable office equipment is one stop away at PTS Office Systems. Of course, you and the business next door do different things, so you need different office equipment. PTS Office Systems has fully customizable office equipment in stock, waiting to be delivered to your business. Get fully customized office equipment to meet your office's specific needs. The day and age of one-size-fits-all office equipment is gone. Shop around at PTS Office Systems today at 217 North Main in downtown Roswell.
Sure, you can inspect your own roof, get out that rickety ladder, crawl around up there and try to spot the problem until... Or you can call the experts at Do Right Roofing. Do Right Roofing has quality products for any type of roof. They can even install seamless gutters. Do Right Roofing will inspect your roof and give you a free estimate fast. Keep your feet on the ground. Call Do Right Roofing today.
575-623-2273. Let Do Right do your roof right.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Authentic Asian dishes start with authentic ingredients, and Asian Market is your one-stop shop for all those hard-to-find authentic ingredients. Kimchi, pork belly, fresh young coconut, white miso paste, and a variety of mushrooms, plus red snapper, cuttlefish, green mussels, clam meat, and more. Authentic flavors like holy basil, Thai chili, and even more waiting for you at Asian Market. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7, and Sundays, noon to 7, at 5702 South Main in Roswell. Come experience the flavors of the East at Asian Market.
Want to make this Father's Day a little cooler? Every Saturday in June, Richland is giving away a handcrafted, one-of-a-kind American flag cooler. Yup, a brand new cooler every Saturday. Just head for either Richland Chevy on West 2nd or Richland Dodge at the Y and register. That's it. No purchase necessary. Just drop in and sign up. Richland wants to celebrate dads all month long, and the coolest way to say
thanks, Daddy,
is with a brand new cooler. So stop in and sign up for a cool way to say
Happy Father's Day
from Richland Motors. Ride for the brand.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Slugs have 4 noses, but no fingers to pick them. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 17 after 7 o'clock. Good morning. Welcome to another Morning Without Mike Winters. I am joined in studio by Mr. Richard Garcia from the Roswell Literacy Council. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for inviting us. Doing great, man, except for this heat wave that we've been having, man, for the last, I don't know how long it's going to last. It just seems like it's been forever.
Boy, it has been insane. I mean, and you think about it, just 4 or 5 months ago, we were dealing with this on the exact other side of the thermometer. I mean, we were dealing with the deepest freeze we've had in the southwestern part of the country for, in history. And it's just crazy how we've gotten both polar opposites on in the middle of this Rona.
Well, the
land
of enchantment, that's what we're recognized as, and I believe that's true. But I hope for Saturday for this event that we'll be having 109 degrees around there, man. And that's hot.
It is a scorcher, but worth the time to come out because you guys have a big event happening on Saturday.
Yes, we do. Yes,
kind of pulling out all the stops to make this thing happen.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the Literacy Council is sponsoring Howdy Partners. It's a community partnership roundup.
Okay.
We're going to have it here at the courthouse. It's going to be Saturday from 11 to 4.
All right.
We've got several vendors, several participants that are going to be out there, business people that are involved in the community that provide services.
Gotcha. Okay.
The Literacy Council is one of them, and there's many more that provide services, whether it's for the homeless, food banks, United Way, I mean, you name it, Goodwill, Salvation Army, the churches.
Absolutely.
And so, but our whole goal is participating in the community by providing services. The Literacy Council has been around for a long time. We've had some good people that have been there. One person that we're recognizing is Mr. Lilly that passed away.
Yes.
He was a strong supporter of the Literacy Council.
Absolutely.
And his whole family. And we're presenting him with a very, very special award to the family and recognition of Mr. Lilly.
That's awesome.
But we recognize many people.
Sure.
Especially our staff, our members, our board, because we provide services that are there for the people if they need it. Not only do we do tutoring, we do the citizenship.
Yeah.
We do other things to involve not only the Literacy Council, but the community.
Sure.
We work with other organizations, and United Way is one of them, and others. But United Way is like the mother lode because of our funding.
Absolutely, and they have so many amazing partner organizations that they partner with. The United Way. I think it's like 16 or 18 here locally that they partner with.
Yes,
that's amazing.
And XL has been very generous. We've had other individuals that contribute heavily through different foundations that they've set up, trust funds that keep us going.
Yeah,
because we're a nonprofit, and during this pandemic, we weren't able to do some of the things that we wanted to do for fundraising.
Sure, a lot of organizations got kneecapped, got kind of basically put on hold. Yeah. But one thing that I was really blessed when I learned and found out was a lot of people didn't let that dissuade them from their charitable giving. Like even when money was an issue, even when things were tight, people still prioritized their charitable giving. And that so they still made sure to help out these organizations that were doing the work they were doing.
Well, that's what it's all about. We're here for a short time. We're not on a vacation till it's over. You know what I'm saying? So there's people that are in need, and there's some people that you can help, and there's some people that you can't.
Sure.
And we've had that issue not only here in Roswell, but throughout the whole state and throughout the United States with not only the pandemic, but other things that have come up. I mean, times have changed, and we've changed. We've had to.
Yeah.
And your business has changed.
Absolutely.
Dramatically.
And that's one thing I've always respected about the Literacy Council is you guys have kept with the times and changed the way that you do things. A lot of the work that you guys do with like ESL. I mean, a lot of the approaches to that have had to change, with technology and also with colloquial changes. And you guys have kept up with all of those.
Well, and that's the leadership. That's what we have through the membership and the board that we take everything as a task and we're going to complete it. We were successful. We didn't have 20, 30 kids that came for tutoring.
Sure.
But we had one, and she graduated.
And that's the difference.
And that is success.
That is, absolutely.
Irregardless. This girl didn't know how to speak English. She came in. She asked for help. We had staff that provided that provided the services for her. And Janie, Mary Lou Trujillo, which is the director. Janie is the assistant, and others. We got other people that are on the board that have other positions here in the city of Roswell. They're educators. Some of them are past state workers, and many others. We come in all flavors. And myself being retired from not only in retail but corrections, education. So we're a Heinz 57.
I absolutely agree. And the beauty of it is all these different ingredients, like you're saying, they bring something else to the table. They bring their own unique abilities, their own unique skills. Some people are great working with people. Some people just get numbers. They get the business side of things, and all of these great minds coming together to make this thing happen. And like you said, that one girl that graduated, that's the biggest difference in the world.
Well,
that's amazing.
And when we get back on track and tutoring, which I do tutoring at Youth Challenge, and not only in math and English, writing, reading, and we get a lot of kids in there that come from different parts of the state that can't read or write, and they get into a program due to why and how come. Because they're appointed into because of the system,
right?
And giving them a opportunity, and it's just like the graduates from Roswell High and Goddard and University High and the ENMUR. We got to applaud those kids. We got to applaud all of them because I had one son, Aram, that graduated, and believe me, it was tough.
Oh man,
it was a tough year for them, and
these are the most resilient kids that are ever going to come out of the system, though, because they have seen literally every side of it. They've had to learn through in the foxhole, basically.
Well, you had these kids that gives us great pride. It doesn't make a difference whether they're Garcia, Smith, Johnson, Torres, or whoever.
Who have you?
Whoever it is, We got to applaud the parents. We got to applaud the students themselves,
and the educators and administrators too. Because
let me tell you,
they were the ones that were getting screamed at from both sides, from their bosses and from the kids' parents. It was.
My wife is a retired teacher.
Mm-hmm.
She was a culinary instructor at vocational at Job Corps for 20-something years.
Oh wow, okay.
Then she went into the RISD.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's been there for some time after she retired, but this year was one of them years that she started early during the pandemic, and she was here at Mesa. And at the beginning, it was like a struggle, man.
Sure.
Not only for her, but for many other educators. And I believe that our has got to go off to them because from the superintendent to the board to the principals, the staff, from the cafeteria to the physical ed or whatever people would want to participate in. It just goes to show us that we can go ahead and put our minds to whatever we have to do and get it done. Right. And that is one thing that I say of the slogan of the Legislative Council. We get it done.
You get it done.
I don't know if anybody's ever gone to visit our building. When we got it, it's an old building.
Sure.
But you go inside and that's the leadership. President, I make decisions, and sometimes they're not the most popular. But the thing about it is, when it comes to the betterment of the facility or for the needs of that we're going to have to provide,
less popular.
I don't
decisions.
hold back.
That's right. Unpopular decisions have to be made.
I don't hold back
for the good or for the greater good.
And we talk about the money. Well, I tell them it'll take care of itself, man. We just got to go and let's get it done.
Absolutely.
Because once you get to start doing it, you're like the bulldozer. You start plowing it, man. And then you got the people behind you that's got other things to do.
It's momentum. You got to get that momentum,
and you got to
start rolling down the hill. And that's one thing that I've noticed about with the city of Roswell is I talked about this yesterday. We never really shut all the way down because we're chock full of a lot of the essentials.
Right.
So we were going pretty much the whole time. But now that we're starting to kind of get back into the swing of things, it went from going like 80 miles an hour to like 150 miles an hour. I mean, we're constantly moving, constantly things happening, events happening all over the place, including this event this Saturday, and it's been breakneck to see all the changes that have happened just over the last couple of days or a couple of weeks.
We're very resilient of what we say and what we do. We got like I said, the different organizations. We all work in different ways, and at the end of the day. I know when I meet with the director and we got certain things going and certain things that we're trying to work with, not only us. It's just not about me. We provide services for the people that want to come in from Hagerman, Dexter, Lake Arthur, Cottonwood.
Yeah.
Heck, man, wherever you want to come in and you need assistance, we're going to tell you whether we can or whether we can't. But we're always going to tell you where you can go.
Sure. And that's an awesome thing is that you guys don't have any boundaries necessarily. If someone comes with a need, you're going to do your best to fulfill that need.
That's right. And we've got a good partner with a Goodwill. When people need something, I mean, hey, man, we can send you out there and people travel through the roads. You see them. And when I say the roads, you see them all over. I mean, people, transits, people moving. And the thing about it is that it's just like what I said earlier. There's some things that we can do to help others, help some, and there's some things that ain't going to help anybody.
Right.
And it's that initiative. But the most important thing right now is this pandemic has taught me a lesson. And at 75 years old, I take nothing for granted, man.
Absolutely.
And every day above ground's a good day.
And that's something I've heard from more than one person over the last couple of weeks is this has taught me that every single day is a gift. The opportunity to see the world through the eyes of like a kid, to have that opportunity that everything that you do is a new experience, that everything that you do is exciting for something, to find that little pearl of enjoyment in the crap sandwich, so to speak, that is life. And that's one thing a lot of people have changed is their perspective, and people just aren't taking things for granted anymore. They're getting out there. They're doing the things they said, I'll do that someday. People are doing it now.
Well,
I really enjoy that.
Let me tell you. I mentioned it earlier. And this goes for myself. And many people plan a vacation more than they do their life. And this is going to be a test for like an eye opener for these young people that just graduated, because it's not easy, man. You know, their education is expensive.
It really is.
And, you know, there's certain things that you can go for. You have the lottery scholarships. I know I got financial aid. But there's some that can probably afford it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it is that we got to stop having this particular thing of the have and have nots.
Right.
And give everybody that opportunity, because it's knocking every day. You know, people might want to go into broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
People want to go into journalism. People want to go into politics. People want to go into being a pastor or a priest or whatever. But that's choices that we are entitled to make those choices if we want to make them in our careers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I never thought that I'd be doing what I did in my career. Others went in the military. I went on to school, and we went from there.
And I mentioned this yesterday too. I believe when I was talking to Miss Andrea Moore with the chamber.
Oh,
but
yeah.
A lot of people are using this last couple of years as a catalyst for change. A lot of people are starting new careers, are turning hobbies into new careers. They're taking the have to out of work and finding things that they can enjoy doing and also make money doing. It's been kind of a neat thing to watch happen. And your organization is paramount in that, because there's people that want to make things happen, but maybe they need a little assistance with reading, or they need to up their their game. Maybe their English isn't the best, and you guys have programs for that. So people who are making their goals happen because of the pandemic, their dreams come true because of the pandemic, you guys are hand in hand with that.
Well, we've had another girl that was not too far from my house, about 3 houses down. Her grandmother. This little girl was bright to begin with. Couldn't speak English. Graduated. This is another one with honors.
Wow.
They're out of Roswell High.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so when these kids come in, and I've have tutored many, and they come in, and some of them will accomplish certain things. Whether it's a youth challenge or whatever it might be, Job Corps, it doesn't make any difference.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it is that we get opening that door, man, to all these kids that graduated.
Right.
Whether they graduated with honors, high honors, or just graduated.
You give them a piece of paper, and that's a piece of paper, but now we have to give them an opportunity.
Now that's we got to give them an opportunity.
Absolutely.
And what I saw of those kids, that was just like to say, you know what? We skipped out on a lot of stuff that we'll never see during our senior year.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we make it? How are we going to catch up with it? Well, you never will.
Right.
The thing about it is that it should set you a path into saying, okay, man, hey, there ain't nothing I can't do.
That's right. I was denied these experiences, as a senior. All it did was make me more resilient, make me realize that, what, I have to work for the things I'm going to get. That's.
But the thing about it was these kids, man, they got the technology now that we didn't have.
I know. It's depressing that my 2-year-old can work a tablet better than I can.
Well, that's
half the time I have him running my tech support.
I've never even played a game on the goddamn the games that they play. Xbox or whatever. I have never played. Oh, I used to play video games on the when you put a quarter or whatever.
I'll tell you this. There was a point of pride the other day. I had my kids out at the park. This is back before it was the surface of the sun outside, but you could still take your kids to the park. Yeah. So I took my daughter. Had my daughter at the park, and she was playing with one of the other little boys, and he asked her if she played Fortnite, and she said, "Oh, I'll play Fortnite," thinking it was a playground game, not thinking that it was the mobile app and game that all these kids are playing. She didn't know what Fortnite was. She thought it was a playground. She was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm down. Let's play. How do you do it? So that was a point of pride for me. I'm like, yeah, my kids don't know what Fortnite is. That's awesome. I'm doing good. I'm doing pretty good. But that's the kids are proving every single day that they are capable of so much knowledge. They're capable of taking in so much. And the Literacy Council is great at that. So let's talk about this event this Saturday.
Okay, well the event's going to be probably the participants that will be out there will be local community leaders or organizations, and it's going to be just like a Heinz 57. There's going to be different things.
Kind of a come and go event, essentially.
Come and go. We're going to have booths out there. There's going to be some vendors out there. I don't know if the farmers market will be out here on this Saturday.
I think the farmers and gardeners market doesn't start till next month. Again, don't quote me on that. I could be wrong on that.
Well,
they might have some makeshift form of it out there with just some growers that are selling some wares.
But what we've seen and going around and kind of eyeballing what the traffic is, there's a lot of traffic on Saturday.
Absolutely, and tourism is way up right now.
And right now, the other day, Virginia and I were going down Main Street, and there was quite a few people, even in this hot sun, that were out there, but then they probably going up to the Cool Pines up in Redosa. We do.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll take off over there, but the thing about it, getting back to this thing with the literacy council.
Sure.
I hope that when people comes out there that they take advantage, and that's a strong word. Take advantage of what's available in the community.
I think a lot of people don't because of pride. Pride getting in the way of I don't want to have help. I don't want to be seen as a charity case or whatever. But if a need is there are organizations that are set up and put in place to help and to assist. It's one of those things you got to swallow your pride and accept, help. But if it's a need, then that's what we're here for.
Well, the thing about it is you're just fooling yourself. I mean, it's just like I said, and I said it again, and I keep repeating it. It's being repetitive of what I just said. All organizations are there for a purpose, to provide a service.
Right.
Not everything that we provide is going to help one person, like another person.
Yeah,
that's just like humans. I mean, we're all different.
But
we have different needs, different things. But the whole purpose of this is the first one. We hope is successful. Again, there's some that will take it and say, well, I don't need that or whatever. But or like you said on pride. Well, I'm embarrassed because I can't speak English. Well, why should you be? Why should you be? Because when you have the opportunity to learn it.
This is a chance to.
And if you learn it, then it's a lot better for you and for me.
Absolutely, okay. I 100% agree.
And the thing is, and I say with me, because I can speak Spanish, fluent. I can read it. I can write it. The thing about it is that it's a tool.
Right.
It was a tool for me in my profession. It was a tool for anybody that can speak Spanish, English, or another foreign language.
It's a line item on a job application or a resume. That I'm fluent in both languages.
I won't guarantee because there's very little that I can guarantee. But there are some questions on the citizenship that we probably couldn't even answer ourselves.
Oh, I would almost 100% agree with that. Like you said, I can't guarantee anything, but I would agree with that.
Well,
100%.
no, I'll bring that test of all the 100 questions.
That's actually an old morning show trope. They used to do that back in the days. Oh, we're bringing the citizenship test, and we'll see if Mike and the Mad Dog can figure out, would be a citizen.
Seriously. I mean,
Absolutely. I'm the same way. I pride myself in a pretty deep knowledge of American history and of how things work, but there's things I don't know.
I have this with me, and I can't read them all, but I tell you what, I am so proud of my Hispanic community, of the kids that graduated. And because some of them I know come from families that speak very little English. But you go throughout the whole business sector of Roswell, and you see young women in doctor's offices. You see them at kids' care. And I'm being a name dropper here because I see him because that's where I take them.
Sure, absolutely.
You see him in the hospital. You see him whether it's at Aersol or Baldwin Payne, wherever it might be. See him at the university. I'm going out there this morning. They're having something out there for the kids, for the new enrollees that they're first come, first served. They're going to be giving some prizes and hot dogs or snow cones or something, and
it's the
money cards for
the Beat the Heat registration event they're doing. I think it's called the Beat the Heat registration event. Yeah, that's what they're doing.
But anyway, that's exciting.
Absolutely.
I know there's from my boys. He's already registered, and he's excited. And I believe that with this thing and the kids, the young kids, they missed out on a lot, and they absorbed a lot, and now that it's kind of just easy enough, you can't stop, man. It's just like right now, everything that wasn't open. Well, okay, the grocery stores are selling a lot of alcoholic beverages and stuff like that. People were home. They were more in with, if I could have a cookout in my backyard.
Sure.
Now, I couldn't invite the whole neighborhood, which I've had before. But the thing about it is that now, it just stopped and limited people on certain things. But it wasn't the most important thing in the world.
Right.
The most important in the world was being safe, man.
Right.
Do I wear my mask? Do I not don't wear my mask? Do I go get the shot?
And everything else took a back seat.
And if people want, and this is one thing that we stressed, that everybody, that when we went into this pandemic, we did everything that we needed to do for the guidelines. We went up all the way up to Clovis to get the plexiglass, get it set up. We did everything that we needed to do to make the facility safe.
Right.
Number one, we still wear our mask. We still follow the guidelines of what till we're 100%.
Sure.
Okay.
And
if people would realize one thing, and I'll just plug this in, it doesn't make any difference. If you haven't gotten your shot, just like you said a while ago, go get it.
Yeah.
Now it's a walk-in. You don't have to be doing it on the computer. You can walk in at Walgreens. You can walk in at Walmart, Sam's. You write your name down. You give you the time. You just be there to get the shot, and it's over with. I know that we weren't reluctant to get them. We got them, even though we had these episodes and stuff like that. And it lingers. And when I started reading into this, I said how lucky I was.
Sure, absolutely.
That I didn't wind up with
the folks that get the long COVID,
whatever. But
there was a Broadway dancer that I read about who first he lost his leg. And then he was put into a medically induced coma, and I don't think he actually made it out. It was just like one of those things, like whole livelihoods were taken. In some cases, it went to extremes, and it was right that we did these, took these precautions and set these things in place. It was necessary. But now it's, now that we're starting to kind of get back into the swing of things, like you said, I encourage everybody out there to get that vaccine. Maybe, I will say get that vaccine, but I also want him to wait a couple weeks because I want to see if I'm going to win this sweepstakes. I'm kind of holding out to keep the numbers low to up my chances of winning the $5 million.
Okay, but look at, for instance, in any crowd, I've been found. On basketball, man, and watching the games. You started watching like the Clippers right now. They're still limited a little bit on them, but you look at Atlanta, you look at all these other arenas and everything packed.
I watched
Utah last night, and against the Clippers, Atlanta against Philadelphia, but not just the teams that won, but the goddamn spectators.
Yeah,
Milwaukee. My gosh in heaven, man! There would have been enough people just in that parking lot. There's more people there than there was in Chaves County.
And and here's the thing too: it's not just that the people are there; those people are electric because every single person that's in those crowds is so eager to cheer because they haven't gotten to do it in a year and a half. So those people are the slightest thing. They're gonna lose their minds. I have brought this up a lot this week, but I watched a pro wrestling pay-per-view a couple weeks back, and they had a capacity crowd. I think it was like 6,000 people, and the slightest thing they would just lose their minds cheering for. And in fact, she was a fan watching it at home. You don't realize you need that crowd reaction.
Yeah, well, we had some friends that went. I guess they just got back from Las Vegas, and it was open. They didn't miss out on anything, but. The thing about it is the Literacy Council is here to stay.
Absolutely.
We've had, like I said, it's been around for a long time. And it's been around for a long time because of the leadership.
That's right.
And you're just as good as the people that are behind you. I just direct traffic.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's some decisions that I make that aren't popular, but there's some decisions that we make and we say, okay, this is for the better good. And we go from there.
Absolutely.
And that's why we're here. And we thank you guys for letting us come out and let us vent out and about what we offer and what we're doing. And we hope that people come out.
Yeah, it's 11 to 4.
We're still open. We're closed on Mondays. and Fridays. But we do have, and the reason for that is that we tutor at night. So that way it doesn't conflict with
Work
anything else. And
schedules.
so we set the schedule. People get used to that schedule. But anyway, we're here for Saturday, again at the courthouse.
It's 11 to 4, correct?
Courthouse lawn from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come out and see what other organizations have to offer.
There you go. What was it
Stop
called
by
again?
our booth. Huh?
What was it called again?
It's called. It starts off with Howdy Partners.
That's
but
what I
it's
just wanted to
called-
get you. I wanted to get you to say Howdy Partners again because I want to say yes. You're not saying it right. You're not saying it. You got to say Howdy Partners.
Well, Howdy Partners.
There you go. There you go.
It's the first annual Travis County Community Partnership Roundup.
Oh, nice. So
that's
it's a roundup of all sorts of organizations. So come on out 11 to 4 at the Travis County Courthouse on the lawn. And just learn some information. It's a great chance to find out what there is, what Roswell has to offer.
That's it.
Great chance to do that. So, well, Richard, thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you for having us, and we'll see you again probably next month.
Absolutely. We'll keep Roswell reading. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
14 minutes away from 8 o'clock. Let's take a look at listen to some local news.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Main Street Roswell and the city are announcing a public meeting regarding the Roswell Great Blocks project. The meeting planned for Wednesday, June 23rd at 5:30 p.m. on Bassett Auditorium at the RMAC. The purpose of the meeting is to discuss the proposed Roswell Great Blocks design. Residents, adjacent landowners, and all interested parties are invited and encouraged to attend and provide their comments, concerns, and suggestions. A key deadline looming for lifting the last public health restrictions in New Mexico, with Democrat Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham wanting at least 60% of residents fully vaccinated against COVID by Thursday, today, so the state could move forward with plans in the coming weeks to fully reopen the economy. Vaccinations have been inching up only by a couple of tenths of a percent each day, and state officials said Wednesday an additional 21,000 people would need to get either their second shots or the one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine to hit the mark. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Apple's new AirTags makes it super easy to keep track of your keys, purse, pets, luggage, literally anything. I'm Kim Commando with news about AirTag's biggest problem you haven't heard about, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. In the commercials, Apple shows people happily finding lost keys or purses, all because an Apple AirTag was attached. But AirTags have been quickly put to a darker use, tracking people without their knowledge. Apple has quietly updated its operating system so that your iPhone or iPad will notify you if it senses an AirTag that it doesn't recognize. Apple's also working on an app for Androids, but there's still a problem. As more and more AirTags are activated, iPhones and iPads will be sensing unknown AirTags all the time. So your device will wait 8 hours, maybe even 24 hours, before notifying you it's found an AirTag that doesn't belong to you. And that's a long time to be tracked without knowing about it. Get more tech news at commando.com. Remember the feeling you got as a kid of getting tucked into bed? Or the feeling you get now in the arms of someone you love? Safe and secure. It's a feeling of security that only comes through human connection. And that's why the people at Simply Safe are so important. Of course, Simply Safe has an award-winning security system that has all the bells and whistles you'd expect these days. But the people at Simply Safe really want to take it to the next level. They're there around the clock anytime you need them. Whether it's a fire, a burglary, a medical emergency, a burst pipe, or even a problem setting up the system, Simply Safe has a person with the expertise you need ready to help 24/7. And when you know there's always someone there to help, well, that's a feeling you just don't get with any old security system. To learn more about how Simply Safe can help protect you, visit simplysafekim.com today. You can customize your system and get a free HD security camera. simplysafekim.com. That's simplysafekim.com.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Sigmund Freud once believed that cocaine could be used to help treat a morphine addiction. Mike used bacon to get over his addiction to beef. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 11 minutes away from 8 o'clock. I love that fake laugh. Here's Mike Winters. 11 away from 8 o'clock. Let's get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We still have warm downslope wind coming off the mountains, and that'll keep things hot for us over the next couple of days. Sunny and a little bit breezy today. Our afternoon highs between 97 and 100. Overnight it'll be clear, lows in the upper 60s, and then we'll be in the low 100s tomorrow with plenty of sunshine. Looking at the upcoming weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, low 100s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Southeastern New Mexico Sports Report. Now, we've mentioned how baseball and softball are wrapping up their regular seasons in the next couple of days here. Playoffs will start soon. But you know what? The state championships are already coming around, even sooner than that, for a couple of other sports. Let's give you the schedule because we want to stay up on top of these things. The state track and field championships actually begin today in Albuquerque at the UNM track for Class 1A. That's today. Tomorrow, it'll be Class 2A. Saturday, Class 3A. Then next week, it'll be Class 4A and 5A on Friday and Saturday. And the state golf is going to happen on Monday, all in Albuquerque. Class 3A at Los Altos Golf Club, 4A at Ladera, and Class 5A at Arroyo del Osa. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at 92.9, The Brand.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander. The U.S. Education Department is erasing student debt for thousands of people who borrowed money to attend a for-profit college chain that made exaggerated claims about its graduates' success in finding jobs. The Biden administration said it is approving 18,000 loan forgiveness claims from former students of the ITT Technical Institute, a chain that closed in 2016. General Motors will raise its spending on electric vehicles and add 2 U.S. battery factories, hoping consumers will switch from gasoline to the new technology. On Wall Street, the Dow fell 265 points to 34,033. The Nasdaq down 33 to 14,039, and the S&P 500 fell 22 points to 4,223. With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
When you need an oil change, but you don't want to sit at the shop all day, call Nazca Quick Lube. They're new to town, and what makes them unique is that they come to you. As your car is parked at work or wherever, they will change the oil and provide a tire rotation and restore your headlights, so you don't have to spend hours sitting at the shop. Call 808-9134. That's 808-9134. Nazca Quick Lube. Let their quality service come to you.
As the school year comes to an end and COVID restrictions start to ease, don't lose sight of the lessons learned. Cover your cough, positive personal hygiene, respect one another, show and tell others you love them. Fiscal and social responsibility are great ways to show your love. This is Damon Graham, your local New York Life agent. I can help you show your love to others. Call me at 575-623-0803 so we can determine how you best can show your love. Expect to be blessed.
In the book of Psalms, David writes a psalm during a particularly difficult time. He composes these words: "The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit. Broken and contrite heart, O God, you will not despise." I've always found this to be an interesting psalm. David writes this after he's been firmly scolded by a prophet for bad behavior brought on by a series of bad decisions. And this scolding has led to his broken heart. It appears from the psalm that David is begging for forgiveness and cleansing. It seems to me that unbroken hearts are becoming more and more rare. Most people are unwilling or unable to make changes in their life, even if their life is spinning out of control, so nothing changes. Many of us need some change or revival in our life, but God doesn't bring it until we long for it. In the psalm, David not only longs for revival, he asks for it.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The Goodyear Rubber Company researched and concluded that shoes wear out faster on the right foot than on the left. To fix this, just walk backwards for half the day. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 6 minutes away from 8 o'clock on your Thursday morning. Sean Smalls inside your radios, filling in for Mixmaster Mike Winters He's off sowing his wild oats. All right, so I have Richard Garcia fixing to join us here with the Roswell Literacy Council. Poor Tanner. Tanner has been. I gotta take my hat off to Tanner. He is really just knocked it out of the park. I mean, I was gonna say this week, but pretty much every week with this whole sports season. I mean, he's been consistently, working 12, 13, 14-hour days. So, props to the dude for that. But I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna put this to camera here. I'm gonna test Tanner with something. I kind of fell down a rabbit hole yesterday into today. So what I did was I drew. Oh, there you're on 4. Okay, there you go.
How'd you get out?
I scratched my way up. So what I did was I put 6 lines on this paper. I'm going to show the camera. See if they can see what I did here. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now I'm going to give you this piece of paper and this pen. I want you to see if you can figure out. Or I just want you to do with that what you feel like is the right thing to do on that.
Is there a right thing to do?
Yeah, let's find out. This is something I stumbled down the rabbit hole of. That universally, for some reason, there's no generational separation of it. There's no. You can't figure it out?
No, it's
okay.
not.
Well, let me see. I'll go ahead and figure it out for you.
Well, no, it's not about figuring it out. It's just I'm trying to think of something different to do.
Well, not even different. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you see this?
To connect them somehow.
Right. Now.
It's just, I was thinking about how.
If I were to do this.
Oh.
Then what?
Yeah, I know what it is now.
Yep.
It's an S.
It's an S. It's the stylized S.
That's not what I was going to do.
That for some reason, it doesn't even separate by generational constructs. Everybody has done this.
Everybody knows the S.
And I fell in this weird rabbit hole because there was a YouTube video. They were showing all these different comments about the universal S and how everybody's done it. And nobody can figure out the origin of it. It's just been passed down to school children.
It was some kind of symbol?
Dude, nobody can figure it out. I watched a full-blown 20-minute video of this dude trying to connect it to the Stussy clothing brand from the 1960s, trying to connect it to different bands, like Slipknot and other bands that had a stylized S in their
No,
in their
it
logos.
doesn't have anything to do with. I never thought it had anything to do with metal or anything like that.
But that's just it. I remember being in grade school and being shown that. I used to draw it on my notebooks all the time because my first name is Sean. So
is it wrong to me to think of it as kind of like a gang thing or like a?
Well, okay, that's the best determination they could come up with was that it has its origins. That S has its origins in graffiti.
I always thought it was something similar to that.
In that the bubble S is a hard thing to do when you're spray painting. But if you have 3 lines down and 3 lines down at the bottom, it's just an easier way to connect it. And it also has an interesting look to it. So, but it's amazing how this symbol that nobody can fully put their finger on where we picked it up from has just been passed down from generation to generation. And school kids everywhere just have been doing this for years, for eons. It blows my mind because nobody knows where it came from.
That's interesting. I think somebody just did it and then they just kind of took it and just kept going.
I remember when I was in school.
Because it doesn't necessarily, I mean, I always thought it meant something.
No,
and that's why people did it.
It's a letter S. For me, it was my first name. So I went so far as to change it up. I used to do this. I used to curve the sides and then curve the bottom to kind of sharpen it a little. Let me do this real quick. I'm doing this quick hand, but that's how I used to do it on all my notebooks back in the day.
Sean.
Yeah, with the the squiggles like that. But
it was like a dragon too.
But yeah, it's just so crazy to me because I watched this video. I'm like, I did it. I know other generations. I've seen kids today, in school today, will scrawl that symbol on notebooks and stuff. And it just, wow, it's so crazy that we've just picked up on this thing that nobody knows where it came from. And I guarantee other people have put that on their notebooks and stuff.
I'm trying to think of other stuff that was like that in high school that people just did.
That was totally my symbol. So when I saw that YouTube video, I'm like, oh my gosh, people in Romania were saying, oh, we used to draw that. People in Russia, and they were like, oh, they thought, oh, it was something from our country. It was just a Russian thing. Or it was just a Romanian thing. This is universal. That's crazy. 1 minute away from 8 o'clock on your Thursday morning. Coming up next hour as we move away from my scrawled notes, going to be sitting down with Public Affairs Director for the City of Roswell, Miss Juanita Jennings, chatting all about the activity happening around Roswell. We're getting closer to that 60% mark where everything's going to be back open, full-blown, full stop, no restrictions We just got to get there first. So we'll chat with Miss Juanita Jennings coming up in the next hour. Stay tuned right here to another morning without Michael P. Winters. He will be back, by the way, on Monday morning. Fear not, children. He'll be back inside your radios very soon. Another morning without Mike Winters on 106.5 KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Stay tuned.
Your home for Armed American Radio is 106.5 FM KEND, Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Militarily and in other ways, China is clearly rising. Now it has launched a 3-man crew to its new space station, marking its first manned mission in 5 years.
Blasting off into bright blue skies with near-perfect visibility, the rocket headed into space from the Jiuquan Launch Center in northwestern China, on the edge of the Gobi Desert. The 3 astronauts traveling in the Shenzhou 12 spaceship docked with China's new Tianhe space station about 6 hours after takeoff. The 2 veteran astronauts and a newcomer making his first space flight will stay in the main living compartment of the core module for 3 months. The mission marks a milestone in the country's ambitious space program. I'm Karen Chamas.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott moving ahead with plans for a wall. Abbott vows Texas will build a border wall in our state to help secure our border.
My belief, based upon conversations that I've already had, is that the combination of state land as well as volunteer land will yield hundreds of miles to build a border wall in Texas.
Abbott allocating $250 million in state funds as a down payment for the project, and former President Trump making plans for a visit to the southern border later this month. Mr. Trump accepting Governor Abbott's invitation to tour the border. Vice President Harris is facing growing pressure from congressional Democrats to travel to the border. Texas Congressman Henry Cuellar has sent Harris a letter inviting her to the border to, as the letter puts it, observe the ongoing humanitarian crisis and share the perspective of Americans who live there. The number of people applying for unemployment benefits rose 37,000 last week, hitting 412,000, the first increase in jobless applications since April. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 100 points, the Nasdaq 40 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I have 2 dogs, Sam and Bailey. Both are golden retrievers. Poor Sam, he was a mess. Always itching. His paws were soaking wet all day from just constant licking. He had bald spots on his back. I just don't like putting shots and steroids into your dog all the time. DINOVITE.com. Dynovite is nutrition. Probably 2 weeks after he started Dynovite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. It's amazing stuff. Since Bailey has been 12 weeks old, he's been a Dynovite dog, and he has 0 issues today. He won't eat his food without Dynovite. When I get out the Dynovite, my dogs actually salivate, like I'm getting them a treat. They drool over it. Dynovite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynovite from DINOVITE.com.
Save the Children says more than 700,000 Rohingya youngsters face an increasingly desperate situation because they lack any basic rights in the countries they fled to.
Time is really the critical issue. It's why Save the Children, and they're not the first agency to highlight this, but every year that goes by, you have 2 things happening. One is you have a kind of weariness with the Rohingya story, nothing changes, people lose interest. And at the same time, every year that goes by where these people are stuck in this dreadful limbo, particularly harms the prospects for younger generations. You've got to think about what conditions are like inside, let's say, the largest camps in Bangladesh, where there's no space. They're crammed into areas that are totally unsuitable for that number of people.
The BBC's Jonathan Head. Indonesia's president ordering authorities to speed up the country's vaccination campaign. World Health Organization warns of the need to increase social restrictions in the country. Townhall.com. The NFL loosening many coronavirus restrictions for players who are vaccinated.
The league and the NFL Players Association are encouraging players to get vaccinated. A memo sent to teams says for players who get their shots, it's almost back to business as usual. For the unvaccinated, players must be tested daily, wear a mask, and practice social distancing. They also won't be allowed to eat meals with teammates and cannot leave the team hotel or interact with people outside the team while traveling. Several players say they are worried about getting vaccinated. The new protocols give them more incentive to get it. Players can be fined up to $50,000 for violating protocols. I'm Ed Donahue.
A sudden late-night power failure left more than 337,000 electric customers in the dark across Puerto Rico, many of them still recovering from a massive outage that struck the U.S. territory just days ago. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Dude.
Of Mornings Without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday morning, the penultimate day of your work. I was going to say and or school week, but no, just your work week. Although, can we please, I know we're doing it, but can we please wrap up sports? I mean, I know we didn't have it for a long time. It's nice to get back to the swing of things, but these kids need a summer. And doggone, it's hot outside.
Mm-hmm.
109 for the high on Sunday, and we're starting tournament play this weekend. It's like, I know it's not going to be 109 in Albuquerque, and they're probably going to be, well, the track and field kids aren't, but some of them are going to be inside of a state or a stadium and stuff. But still, it's hot.
Apparently, Friday's game is for all the marbles for them.
Yeah.
They're going to get in. Somebody's got to win.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Goddard, Artesia, right?
Bertalis.
Or I should look at the schedule. It's two teams, or maybe it's Lovington. I'm not sure. No, it is. It's Artesia Goddard this Friday. Yeah, because they're coming down here to the launch pad. That's where they're going to be playing.
Oh, it is Artesia.
Yeah, so one of those two teams going to be taking the old season nap. And yeah, tournament play I think begins for baseball. I think next week.
Fun.
So, buckle up, getting to the end of the season. I'm just ready for kids to finally be able to kind of take a break for a second. I know that things weren't exactly normal, and it feels like the kids were kind of on an extended break, so to speak, but this was stressful for them. I mean, I saw it, firsthand with my daughter, with dealing with the virtual model to the at-school model and, not having friends at school, and it was real stressful. We actually just determined that it would be better for my daughter to not do summer school, as she almost always does, to kind of get a leg up, but to not do it this year just because of the burnout factor, because she was just getting so burned out. It's real,
We're trying to play catch up.
Yeah, and understandably, we're trying to make sense of the last year and a half, but now it's I think now it's time to start getting back to a sense of normalcy, so to speak. But I digress. Coming up here in just a few minutes, around 8:15 or so, going to be sitting down chatting with Miss Juanita Jennings, the Public Affairs Director for the City of Roswell, talking about all the happenings, the goings on around the City of Roswell. It's been a busy couple of months, and it's going to be even busier. They said in the news, I think we're like 21,000 shy statewide of the 60% threshold that the governor put in place for us to open everything up completely with no restrictions. So we're not quite there yet. that we're well on our way. But I am genuinely curious to see how this whole sweepstake thing pans out. I think
Nobody thinks that's weird?
Does
anybody think that's weird that they're trying to bribe us?
Sure. I think it's very odd, but I figured I already got the vaccine anyways. Might as well see if I can, line my pockets. And honestly, even if it's just like I get a fishing license out of the whole thing, cool. I haven't been fishing in years. Now I got a reason to go. I just got to get some, tackle, a fishing pole, and some, abilities to actually fish well. I never liked fishing growing up. I think the big part of it was just I wasn't good at it. I also went with my dad. He made me be quiet because I was quote unquote scaring the fish. So it just sort of took all the fun out of it for me. But if I'm given a fishing license through this whole thing, I might actually utilize that. That might be kind of interesting. Hey, real quickly, wanted to remind you that this is the final day for the ENMU Roswell Student Services Beat the Heat registration event. It's going on today from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. there at the Student Services Center at 56 University Boulevard, the newer building. I can't really call it the new building anymore, but the newer building there at ENMU Roswell. Now, all students who register during this event are going to receive a free snow cone and a $20 gift card for the ENMU Roswell bookstore. Now, students are encouraged to apply for admission prior to the event. The admission application is available online at roswell.enmu.edu. Fall classes start August 16th, so you have a little bit of time, but the way the rest of this year has been going, not that much. If you want more information, head to their little place in cyberspace, roswell.enmu.edu, or give them a call at 575-624-7294. 10 minutes after 8 o'clock, let's take a look at, listen to, and I'm not going to let it mess with me this time. I'm going to arm it beforehand. Let's take a listen to this here weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We still have warm downslope wind coming off the mountains, and that'll keep things hot for us over the next couple of days. Sunny and a little bit breezy today. Our afternoon highs between 97 and 100. Overnight it'll be clear, lows in the upper 60s, and then we'll be in the low 100s tomorrow with plenty of sunshine. Looking at the upcoming weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, low 100s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 77 degrees, 7 degrees up in just under an hour. 35% humidity level with the wind speed out of the south at around 7 miles an hour, and the barometer at 30.14 inches with a dew point of 47 degrees. I can't do it anymore. I used to be able to do the drip thing. Nah, screw it. Looking at a high of 100 degrees for the high today under mostly sunny skies. Winds out of the south 10 to 15 miles an hour. Mostly clear for tonight, dropping down to an overnight low of about 68 degrees. Winds out of the south 5 to 15 miles an hour. Sunny skies and very hot for your Friday and the weekend ahead. 101 for the high. Winds out of the south 5 to 15. More of the same heading into the freaking weekend. Sunny and hot 103 for Saturday. Winds 10 to 15 miles an hour in the afternoon. Partly cloudy and 71 for the overnight low on Saturday and into Sunday with sunny skies and a high of 109 degrees. Why don't you just call it an even 110? I mean, are we really saving that much with that 1 degree? Yeah, I don't think so. 12 minutes after 8 o'clock. Going to pause. And after these, sitting down with Miss Juanita Jennings from the city of Roswell. Stay tuned to another morning without Mike Winters.
If you're a person who has more to do than you have hours in your day, and everything seems to take priority over your own health, then you're going to love the Loveless MyChart Secure Patient Portal. You can message your doctor, make an appointment, or view lab results anytime, day or night, on your computer or smartphone. Print a list of your medications at the click of a mouse, or even compare previous tests to map your health progress. Loveless MyChart connects you to better health, anywhere, anytime.
Customizable office equipment is one stop away at PTS Office Systems. Of course, you and the business next door do different things, so you need different office equipment. PTS Office Systems has fully customizable office equipment in stock, waiting to be delivered to your business. Get fully customized office equipment to meet your office's specific needs. The day and age of one-size-fits-all office equipment is gone. Shop around at PTS Office Systems today at 217 North Main in downtown Roswell.
Did you know that most burglaries occur during the day? Why, you ask? Most of us are at work, leaving the burglar to go unnoticed. Did you know the average loss from a home burglary is over $2,200? Not including one's loss of emotional security in their own home. Avoid being a burglar's target market and get a monitored security system from Zenith Security Services, all for around $1 a day. Wouldn't you agree that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure? Call Zenith Security Services today, 626-3521.
You may have heard of SmartHub. SmartHub is Central Valley Electric's online tool for members to manage their electric account. With SmartHub, not only can you securely pay your bill online, you can view your detailed electric use 24 hours a day. You can report an outage while staying up to date with the latest co-op news, compare past and current electric use. Sign up for paperless billing or reoccurring payment so that your payment is never late. The best thing is you can access SmartHub from your computer, tablet, or smartphone, so it goes everywhere you go. Visit cvecoop.org to get started or give us a call.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 14 minutes after 8 o'clock. Hey, wanted to make a real quick correction. Earlier I said that Galacticon was actually running in conjunction with Alien Fest and with the returning UFO Festival. That's actually not correct. I was corrected. Andrea sent me a text and said, hey, it's happening in October. Get your facts straight, fact man. Yeah, and you're right. If I'm going to be spreading the news to the public, I should probably get my info straight. She didn't say it like that. She was nice. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Galacticon happening in October, but we are gearing up for a busy, busy season because Alien Fest 2021 is happening July 1st through the 3rd. It's a great family event, and it's going to be happening in conjunction with the UFO Festival. All sorts of activities and happenings all over Roswell, including in the downtown area, up north by DeBremen. They're going to have some stuff down south. Just all over the place, entertainment will be had here at Alien Fest. If you want more information about Alien Fest happening July 1st through the 3rd, you can find out more at UFOFestivalRoswell.com. I am joined in studio this morning by Miss Juanita Jennings, the Public Affairs Director from the City of Roswell. How are you doing this morning?
Good. How are you this morning?
Doing real good. Trying to get through things. Yeah. Mike makes this look real easy, you know? He really does. I sit over there and I do my country radio thing, and I come over here and co-host, and yeah, he makes it look real easy. But the man's got a lot of plates to spin. Yeah. But let's talk about the city of Roswell. Let's talk about the activities happening right now, because it's been a busy season. We're getting back. We went from basically going like 60 miles an hour to 150 miles an hour. Yep. Everybody's opening back up. Tourism is the likes of which I haven't seen in many years.
Yes, we hit it hard as soon as we could put out ads and get things out there. We have 4 different campaigns currently running. We're in Phoenix, we're in West Texas, we're up north, and then we have a digital campaign running as right now. So we're trying to get more visitors here into our city to spend their money from out of our state. And so and the big thing that we're gearing up for is UFO Festival.
Yes.
So that's the big one. We're pretty much ready. The numbers look great. We're super excited to host a citywide festival this year. And
that's something that's really nice to see is that it's citywide and united this, because there's been a lot of back and forth, different groups setting up different festivals and different events, and it always felt like we were competing with it. But now it feels like after 2 years or a year and a half of just nothing happening, we're finally ready to just hit the ground running and make this thing happen full bore.
Yeah, we're super excited for it. We will kick it off on Friday, July 2nd. So Friday, July 2nd kicks off our opening ceremonies at 6 p.m. at DeBremen Field.
Okay.
We'll have music. Our landing food truck vendors will be there, little shops. Then it will go into our abduction parade. So abduction parade.
An abduction parade, you say?
Abduction parade, yes.
All right.
And so that'll be Friday night. And then Friday evening, right after that, we will have our first cinema event at Cielo Grande. So it's an interactive experience. Some people are like, why am I going to pay $40 to watch a movie? It's not just watching a movie. It's an actual experience for the audience. So when a spaceship lands, you might get windblown. If there's water, you might get wet. So it's almost like a mini IMAX movie that we're a mini IMAX theater that they will be doing. And then Saturday is the really big day. So we kick it off with our golf tournament in the morning, as well as Alien Chase, which is a 2K or 5K, whichever you prefer.
Right.
And then we've really tried to focus on evening time events, because we really would love our visitors to go downtown in our shops, go around, do a little bit of shopping during the day, and then come and spend the evening with us. So that night, we will be hosting our very own New Mexican Chevelle Shepherd for the big concert.
Wow.
And it'll be at the Wool Bowl parking lot. So people will want to bring their own lawn chair. Obviously, we can't be on the actual field because we don't want to mess the field up. But if you bring your lawn chair, you can, come on out, enjoy her music. And that's Saturday night, along with a bunch of other mini activities.
And that's the thing, is there's so much going on. I was pulling up the calendar of events here.
Yes.
One thing you glazed over, and we need to go back, that interactive movie experience.
Yes.
You didn't say what the movie was.
Oh, I didn't.
Go ahead.
There's a couple of them.
On the calendar here, it just shows the one, but I'm curious what the other one is.
So there's Spaceballs. There's Men in Black.
Okay.
And there's one from 1977 that I'm not familiar with, but everybody's raving about it.
Okay.
And definitely want to go out and check it out. But each night will be a different night and a different experience. Obviously, in Spaceballs, it's much different than Men in Black.
That got me so excited when I read it. I was like, Spaceballs, I would love to have an interactive experience with that movie.
Yeah.
So it's 3 days, just chock full of activities. You guys have stuff happening over at the Roswell Aquatic Center. You're going to have a Space Waves EDM pool party that's going to be happening. Like you said, the main event concert there with Chevelle Shepherd. You guys are going to be doing fluidic space yoga, which I'm genuinely curious what that is. Because
I think it's just more of again, we're trying to be interactive, trying to give the visitor an experience that they're going to remember. So, again, bringing out the lights, bringing out the space interaction of doing yoga, meditating. And then, of course, the big night sky event. Unfortunately, those are sold out already, but we have really great open skies, and it'll be beautiful. And then we also have shows at the planetarium.
Yes.
So we'll have laser shows at the planetarium. I know that team is really working super hard to put something phenomenal together. And then we have the zoo. We'll have an arts and craft fair at the zoo. And so just, again, all around our visitor center, which is located in the downtown district, we will be one of the hub locations for information. We will be passing out a lot of information and distributing some Roswell memorabilia as well. And really just excited to welcome everybody here.
This year's UFO Festival feels like the perfect storm of just all the right elements falling into place. Not only did we not have a festival last year because of, the Rona, not only was the last couple of years sort of, it was an issue of, trying to get things together. And then all of a sudden, the entire United States started paying attention to UFOs.
Yes.
All of a sudden, all this classified information about unidentified flying objects and the government confirming that UFOs actually exist, all this information started coming out, and people's interests were piqued in it once again. Couple that with the fact that people are starting to say, you know what, enough, I'm going to do this, let's do it. And finally, people are saying, let's go to Roswell, let's take our Roswell trip. And it's the perfect storm of, this is going to be the UFO festival that people talk about for years.
I hope so. One of the greatest things I think about Roswell is we have a brand that is worth more than we really know. We actually just won an award for our UFO Festival logo,
Really?
Creative Designs. It's a huge publication for graphic designers, agencies. We're super excited. We were just notified yesterday, out of over 3,500 entries, we were in the top 8. We were one of the top 8 logos that were selected to be awarded.
That's a cool logo,
to be part of the publication. So it's super exciting. Just inviting people. Our numbers on our website are off the charts. All of our ads that we're running, whether they be in Phoenix or West Texas, up in Denver, I mean, they're phenomenal. The numbers, we're exceeding the national benchmarks, which is great. And so we're hoping that translates into hotel bookings, because that's how we afford to do the festival.
Right.
And we do the festival for all of our businesses here. It's really important that we showcase the best of our city all across the city. And so if you have a business and you want to showcase your business and would like to participate in the float, there are still opportunities to have a float in this year's abduction parade. The route will be a little bit different. So it'll be starting off of Richardson by Tabernacle Baptist Church, coming down Richardson South, and then heading west I believe, on 9th Street and then circling back.
Okay.
So, just a great opportunity. We're super excited. And
Yeah.
visit us at our website, ufofestival.com, and use our hashtag Roswell UFO Fest.
There you go. Now, I'm curious, the markets that you guys that were choosing to market in, what's the strategy behind specifically Phoenix? Because I know like the fact that we fly to we fly to Phoenix, so there's got to be some tie in there.
Yep, that's exactly it. The tie-in there, Phoenix is really our fly market. Obviously, we want people to be utilizing that flight service so that we're not in jeopardy of losing it. So we feel that if we tie in the UFOs and the flights, we can come up with some really creative campaigns out there. We also target based on demographics of an individual. So those that have higher disposable incomes, that are looking for, maybe they're interested in science. That's another factor. If we're seeing traction on our website based by zip code, so we also look at that.
So lots of
different
info.
things, and we also look at like the conversion from last year, like who came last year and what ads ran. So, for example, not last year, I guess I should say 2019.
Right.
So in 2019, we ran a campaign in San Diego, and we were able to really track to see how many people converted, basically, were brought into the visitor center from San Diego, and was the money that we spent in the advertising campaign worth it? And so as we see those, we start thinking, okay, well, people are traveling from here, so they're hearing about it somewhere. We also tie it into the state of New Mexico Tourism Department's campaign. So when both of us are marketing to our state or for our state, and specifically for our location, we just get a better bang for our buck.
Absolutely. Yeah, when you double up it's a double barrel marketing campaign. And yeah, it sounds like you guys are just sifting through just mountains of data. I mean, demographics, information, all that other stuff. So
it's a lot. It's a lot of thought that goes into the campaigns. We don't just say, "Oh, this city looks great. Let's market here." We also look at this year. It's more of a drive market because of COVID. More people, more families, more couples, adventure seekers. They're getting in their car. They're getting an RV, and they're going to drive. So we look at potential locations that are within a 10 to 12 hour drive radius, and that's how we also determined where our ads were going to be.
I remember several years ago, I can't remember who I was speaking with, but they were telling me that they were in the process of setting up a campaign for Roswell for the Atlanta market, specifically off the back of Hike It, Spike It. Because we see such a huge, every year we saw such a huge draw from the East Coast, from Georgia, from Alabama, from Mississippi, from all those states of, the players coming in to play the flag football. And so there was a kind of a campaign towards that side of the country. But I love the fact that you guys you're not just throwing darts at a board to see what sticks. It's you guys are putting real demographic data down and utilizing it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And sometimes we try some things that don't work too, and that's okay.
That's half the fun of experimentation.
But we're super excited. Again, really trying to invite people out. We would appreciate if our community would support the festival by liking our social media page. It's Roswell UFO Festival, and it's at Roswell UFO Fest. I'm trying to make it a little bit easier as you hashtag or use the @ when you're tagging our page. And then we have right after festival on the same weekend, we have 4th of July. So a lot of people were asking, what is the city doing for 4th of July? So we partnered again with the company that is helping us with the festival. And this year we're going to be having a concert from a group, a tribute band, Clarence Creedwater Revival, called Bad Moon Rising. Nice. And so they will be performing. Gates open at 6 o'clock. I think the show starts at about 6:30, 7 o'clock. And then right after that, as the sun sets, we will be having the Dancing Fires entertainment show. And so what that is it's very theatrical. It's lights, fire dancers. It's an entertainment, a laser show as well. So
and this is happening whereabouts?
This is going to be at Cielo Grande,
at Cielo Grande.
On the southeast corner of Cielo Grande. So at one time, I believe it was going to be created to be a big amphitheater, and the hill is there and the power is there. I don't think it was a completed project. Maybe it was. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. But The location is the southeast corner, so it's best to travel on 8th Street.
Right.
And that's closer to, it's like 8th and Montana.
And there's a side parking lot there.
There is a parking lot. Yeah. There'll be porta potties, food trucks. There's going to be face painting, bounce houses. So bring your coolers, no alcohol.
Right,
sorry.
please.
Blankets, lawn chairs, and come out and enjoy. And this event is free. So
awesome. That is awesome. So I mean, it's go, and then we stop for a quick second, but
yes.
We're kicking off festival season in a big way. And I think that the fact that I keep saying this, that we're cramming 2 years worth of activities into this, into this festival season. Like the Eastern Mexico State Fair last year was nothing. So, so the fact that there's actually going to be a fair this year is, I mean, there's a buzz. Like people are genuinely like excited about going to the fair again.
Yeah, and we're starting little projects. So, for example, this Saturday, Zoofari at our Spring River Zoo, we're having a little nighttime event. Really small, 150 people or less.
Okay.
But we thought, gosh, it's so hot, the heat here. Why don't we offer the zoo in the evening time, giving our community the opportunity to see these animals? Most of them, some of them, a lot of them, nocturnal animals. They're more active at night.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're going to have a movie out there this week. It's Tarzan. There's going to be a little s'more station. So when you are in the night, in the forest, in the camp, you like to have a little snack. There's going to be that. And then the following Saturday, we're doing a thing called Wild Summer Nights. And there'll be 3 of them. So one in June, one in July, and one in August.
Okay.
The one for June is called Country Critters. All of the funds from this event go directly back into the zoo. So thankfully, we've had our cattle baron is going to be catering that event. So the ticket price includes your rib meal. There's going to be some music and just games and little roping. And I'm super excited. We're going to have the Roswell High School FFA group there with the petting zoo.
Oh, great. That's
and
cool.
It's an opportunity for them to show some of their animals and really kind of promote our agricultural roots and give them a little bit of love at this event as well. So for more information on that, you can visit springriverzoo.com. They are also still hosting summer camps for the month of July.
Okay.
And we're just really excited. And then in July, we're going to have the same kind of events, but just a different twist on them. One of them is going to be a cornhole tournament and then a karaoke night. So
nice.
More information. And then tonight is our big night for Public Forum.
Yep.
So Public Forum tonight, specific topic is Ward 3.
Okay.
So it's really not specific to Ward 3 as far as it doesn't have to stay in just Ward 3.
But that's the focus.
But that's the focus for tonight.
Sure.
So our city manager and our 2 counselors from Ward 3 will be live on our Facebook page and answer any questions that the community has specific to Ward 3 or otherwise. And we invite you to join us at 5:30. And then next week, we're inviting the community to come out for this project at the Roswell Museum and Art Center.
Okay.
It's called the Great Blocks Project. And we're looking for public input. So Great Blocks is the little, it's between Walnut and Virginia. It's I wouldn't say one block right just west of the railroad tracks. And we are in the process of the development planning stages of what that space will look like. And so we're looking for public input. It's a partnership with Main Street Roswell and New Mexico Main Street. We received a grant funding for the design and conceptual plans, construction documents to actually really recreate and revitalize this district. And so we would really love to have input from the business owners around that area as well as the community. In some of the conceptual designs, it includes like an open market space, so a space for food trucks, a space for maybe electric car station, a stage, different things. And we really want the public to come out. It's going to be on Wednesday, June 23rd at 5:30 at the Roswell Museum and Art Center.
Gotcha. June 23rd, 5 p.m. at the Museum and Art Center. And yeah, great chance to put some of your input in, because this is something that I've noticed that the city has been doing a lot more of and is great at doing, is setting up stuff off of Main Street, kiosks to let people know that this is what's going on, or just activities, different stations to like you said, revitalize. I'm trying to avoid saying gentrify. Different areas of Roswell that desperately need some upkeep.
Yep.
And it's just awesome to see. So, yeah, I mean, hitting the ground running, it's gung-ho, nonstop, and you guys have lots of irons in the fire, it sounds like.
Lots of irons in the fire. And the goal of the Great Blocks Project, we don't want just another plan, or at least I don't want another plan that sits on a city shelf, and then nothing happens to it. So we'll have an opportunity to apply for a grant in November to actually fund the construction part of the project.
Okay.
And so right now we're working with our architects and our designers. They're coming in, and they want the public to have some input and say into what this piece of property is going to look like for the benefit and betterment of our community. And so we really need people to come out. That's one of the things I know people have been used to going online. I mean, tonight is going to be virtual, but next week it's in person. So if you've been cooped up in your house and you want to see some of our city officials and some of the key stakeholders like our Main Street group face-to-face, please join us 5:30 June 23rd at the Roswell Museum and Art Center.
Absolutely. It's a great chance to get your input in there and be a part of this project, because this is going to be something that's going to be in Roswell for generations to come. We want to make sure it's something that we have have your handprint in.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Well, so like you said, festival season coming up, just constantly moving. There's so much that we covered today. How do folks get a hold of you? How do folks get more info about some of these events?
Sure.
If they want to be a part of the event, how do they find you?
Sure. If they want to be a part of our event, I recommend that they go to roswell-nm.gov. If they want to be a part of UFO Festival, it's ufofestival.com.
Gotcha.
They can definitely log on there. If you have a business and your business wants to have a float in the parade, recommend go online, fill out the form, and join us. If you're still looking for any sponsorships, most of our sponsorships are closed, but definitely have some other opportunities for on-site. But ufofestival.com is where to go.
Perfect. Just want to clarify that. ufofestival.com, not ufofestivalroswell.com. That's the separation of the delineation. Yes. So roswell-nm.gov or ufofestival.com for all the info regarding UFO Festival, regarding all the upcoming events, activities with the Museum and Art Center. And yes, absolutely, please come out to that event, June 23rd, 5:30 at the museum to make your voice heard. Well, Juanita, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate having you out here, and we'll see you back here next month.
All right, sounds good.
Hopefully
Thanks so much.
Mixmaster Mike back in the captain's chair.
Where's he at? He's on vacation?
Yeah, his wife took him out into the middle of the desert.
Oh,
I'm hoping that he's going to come back alive. Or at all. We'll find out. Said a lot of mean things about Kim over the last several years. 36 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's get you up to date with some local news.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Main Street Roswell and the city are announcing a public meeting regarding the Roswell Great Blocks project. The meeting planned for Wednesday, June 23rd at 5:30 p.m. on Bassett Auditorium at the RMAC. The purpose of the meeting is to discuss the proposed Roswell Great Blocks design. Residents, adjacent landowners, and all interested parties are invited and encouraged to attend and provide their comments, concerns, and suggestions. A key deadline looming for lifting the last public health restrictions in New Mexico, with Democrat Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham wanting at least 60% of residents fully vaccinated against COVID by Thursday, today, so the state could move forward with plans in the coming weeks to fully reopen the economy. Vaccinations have been inching up only by a couple of tenths of a percent each day, and state officials said Wednesday an additional 21,000 people would need to get either their second shots or the one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine to hit the mark. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 1 in 3 snake bite victims is drunk. 1 in 5 is tattooed. Hold my beer and check this out. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 37 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's get you up to date with that weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We still have warm downslope wind coming off the mountains, and that'll keep things hot for us over the next couple of days. Sunny and a little bit breezy today. Our afternoon highs between 97 and 100. Overnight it'll be clear, lows in the upper 60s, and then we'll be in the low 100s tomorrow with plenty of sunshine. Looking at the upcoming weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, low 100s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 38 minutes after 8 o'clock. Temperature-wise, looking at currently around Roswell Way, well, if I can get my thing to update here, 77 degrees with a humidity of 35%. Winds out of the south at around 7 miles an hour. The barometer at 30.125 inches. And I just lost my whole forecast right there. Looking at a high of 100 for today under mostly sunny skies, winds out of the south 5 to 15 miles an hour. Mostly clear, dropping down to 68 for the overnight low. Back up to 101 and sunny skies for your Friday. I mean, it's almost doesn't even make sense to say it because it's going to be hot out there, folks. 101 for the high on Friday. Winds calm 5 to 15. No moisture in the forecast, at least not until next week. Mostly clear, dropping down to about 71 for the overnight low. 103 for the high on Saturday. And the wind will be whipping a little bit in the overnight hours out of the southeast 5 to 10 miles an hour, increasing between 15 and 25 later in the evening. Partly cloudy, dropping down to 71 for the overnight low on Saturday night. And the Sunday, sunny, hot, 109 degrees. Yeesh. Hey, just a reminder, tonight, there's lots of stuff happening tonight, so, all kinds of activities to be aware of. But tonight, I wanted to remind you, there is a open forum, a roundtable event that's going to be happening with the Chaves County Federated Republican Women. This event, it's a roundtable forum regarding cannabis in our community. For those who don't remember, in a special session earlier this year, recreational cannabis was legalized on a statewide level, so it's a-coming. What are we going to do about it? Well, obviously, get a little educated. This is a great opportunity to get educated because we're going to have some fantastic minds from all sorts of different various points of knowledge in Roswell. We're going to have Senator Cliff Pirtle there, as well as Sheriff Mike Harrington. Mayor Dennis Kintai will be on hand, and Pecos Valley Productions will have representatives on hand as well to answer questions and just to provide a little bit more information about what's coming. I mean, because armed with knowledge is the best way to approach any situation. If you can be armed with some knowledge, that's definitely going to assist you. As far as like the legality issues, the do's, the don'ts, the business side of things, the commerce side of things, and also the different other industries that crop up and pop up as a result of cannabis becoming a recreational thing. There's all sorts of other aspects and other various businesses and industries that are set up just to make recreational cannabis a viable industry. There's the security aspect, there's the money aspect, there's all these different, wheels that have to turn, these gears that have to move. And it all, it takes decent minds and people who know what they're doing to make all this happen, make the wheels turn, so to speak. So if you want a little more knowledge about what's coming to our state, and so you can be ready for it, come on out to this roundtable forum happening tonight from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Historical Society for Southeastern New Mexico in the Archive Building right next door to the JP White House. It's there at 200 North Lee Avenue. Again, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. tonight. And if you want more information, head over to Facebook and just search for the Chaves County Federated Republican Women. They'll have all the info that you need to know. 19 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Let's pause and take a listen to the SRN Business Report.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander. The U.S. Education Department is erasing student debt for thousands of people who borrowed money to attend a for-profit college chain that made exaggerated claims about its graduates' success in finding jobs. The Biden administration said it is approving 18,000 loan forgiveness claims from former students of the ITT Technical Institute, a chain that closed in 2016. General Motors will raise its spending on electric vehicles and add 2 U.S. battery factories, hoping consumers will switch from gasoline to the new technology. On Wall Street, the Dow fell 265 points to 34,033. The Nasdaq down 33 to 14,039, and the S&P 500 fell 22 points to 4,223. With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
When you need an oil change, but you don't want to sit at the shop all day, call Nazca Quick Lube. They're new to town, and what makes them unique is that they come to you. As your car is parked at work or wherever, they will change the oil and provide a tire rotation and restore your headlights, so you don't have to spend hours sitting at the shop. Call 808-9134. That's 808-9134. Nazca Quick Lube. Let their quality service come to you.
As the school year comes to an end and COVID restrictions start to ease, don't lose sight of the lessons learned. Cover your cough, positive personal hygiene, respect one another, show and tell others you love them. Fiscal and social responsibility are great ways to show your love. This is Damon Graham, your local New York Life agent. I can help you show your love to others. Call me at 575-623-0803 so we can determine how you best can show your love. Expect to be blessed.
A good night's sleep is so important. Did you know that proper sleep supports a healthy heart, decreases chances of weight gain, and boosts a positive mood? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental. It doesn't matter your age, sleeping issues can make any of us reach for that all-day cup of coffee. If you know you are not sleeping because of severe snoring or sleep apnea, come visit us. We can make you a small oral appliance that will help you sleep better and live better.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell, or call 622-4455. Who says you have to pass go to win big? The Moneyopoly event is on now at Roswell Honda. Everyone wins cash on the spot with a cash grab. And bring in your mailer for the chance at $50,000. Plus, during this ultimate vehicle event, trade up and get up to $1,000 over Kelley Blue Book. Get a 2010 Pilot for just $149 a month, a 2010 Odyssey for just $119 a month, or an 08 CRV for just $99 a month. Get a Bluetooth speaker with a test drive, free Monopoly with a purchase, and register to win a beautiful above-ground pool. Moneyopoly is on now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
In the book of Psalms, David writes a psalm during a particularly difficult time. He composes these words: "The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit. Broken and contrite heart, O God, you will not despise." I've always found this to be an interesting psalm. David writes this after he's been firmly scolded by a prophet for bad behavior brought on by a series of bad decisions. And this scolding has led to his broken heart. It appears from the psalm that David is begging for forgiveness and cleansing. It seems to me that unbroken hearts are becoming more and more rare. Most people are unwilling or unable to make changes in their life, even if their life is spinning out of control, so nothing changes. Many of us need some change or revival in our life, but God doesn't bring it until we long for it. In the psalm, David not only longs for revival, he asks for it.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The first toilet being flushed in a motion picture was in the movie Psycho. Mike thought it was Gone with the Wind. Here's Mike Winters.
Wow, and good morning, 15 minutes away from 9 o'clock on your Thursday morning. Sean Smalls, Inside Your Radios, filling in for Mixmaster Mike Winters, who is out sowing some wild oats out in the Grand Canyon. Not sure how many wild oats is actually getting sown down there. I brought this up off the air with Tanner just a moment ago, but I saved the story because I wanted to get his natural reaction. Now, we both work in an industry where there's a lot of pressure to succeed. I mean, we're on the air.
We're here to perform.
We're here to perform. We're on the radio. We're on KSVPTV.com with various video and our functionality there. So we have our hands in a lot of places. With advertisers, we're dealing with their money, and when we make a mistake, people get upset and things. We may lose a listener. To have one small mistake be to affect an entire global market, that is an amount of pressure that I don't think I could possibly ever understand.
I would argue that pressure shouldn't even be there, but...
So here's the story.
I want to hear.
Let me back up. Soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo, for those who don't know, he's legendary worldwide. Not very big here in the States because soccer is not very big here in the States. But here's the thing. Cristiano Ronaldo made the value of Coca-Cola drop by $4 billion.
What did he do?
By $4 billion.
Did he drink a Pepsi?
Here's what happened. And here's the thing. He did it in 20 seconds. Here's how it happened. The 2020 UEFA Football Championships happening right now. Coke is a massive sponsor of this event.
Yeah.
So on Monday, Cristiano Ronaldo was sitting down for a press conference. There were 2 bottles of Coke on the table in front of him. So what did he do? He moved those 2 bottles off camera. Then he held up his water bottle and said, "Agua." Put it down. $4 billion. Because after he did that, shares of Coca-Cola just happened to drop by 1.6%. Meaning...
Does that really have anything to do with him?
Yeah, because he pushed Coke aside and chose his water.
Oh, boo.
So shares dropped from $56.17 a share to $55.22. That reduced Coke's market value from $242 billion to $238 billion, a $4 billion loss in 20 seconds.
So many factors that play into the market, though. You can't just put that on him.
Yeah, as of yesterday, by the way, it was even lower. It was actually $236 billion, so they're still losing money on this whole thing. Now, in
If
fairness,
anything, he did that on purpose.
Coca-Cola came out with a statement and said, quote, "Everyone is entitled to their drink preferences."
They are.
Yeah. I like to imagine they said it through clenched teeth, though.
And to be
Everyone's
fair, it's
entitled
not
to their
like Coke
drink
is good
preferences.
for you.
Yeah, but no, this is how sponsorships work. Have you ever watched like a NASCAR event?
Maybe Coke should get into the water business.
Well, they are. They're in the water business.
There you go.
But he didn't hold up a bottle of Aquafina.
It should be Coca-Cola brand water.
I'm guessing he held up like a water bottle. There's actually a clip here that I could play, but it looks like
no, that sounds so like I actually like that. I'm kind of glad that he did it.
He was just saying,
like
water's better.
Bippies.
That would have been good. But no, it's like if you ever watch like a NASCAR event, and it's funny to me too because
that's plastered all over their car,
right? But like afterwards, like in the winner's circle, whatever, they'll bring the winning driver like a Coke or something like that, but they have to drink it label out. This got brought up in Talladega Nights when he's like, I gotta make sure the label's out, because it's gotta be facing the camera so you can see the.
I mean, they're trying to get it in our heads that we need to drink it.
But the problem is, the people who manufacture soda cans don't necessarily take that into consideration. So they don't put the mouth hole in conjunction to where the logo would be facing the camera. So what ends up happening is I've seen this countless times that people in like NASCAR or something, they'll be in the winner's circle and they'll go to take a drink, realize, oh, the mouth lid is up here or the mouth hole's up here, and it'll just pour out onto their dumb face.
Well, I mean,
but hey, logo out.
They pour Gatorade on people like it's nothing. So.
Well, yeah, but that's a whole other thing. That's
can't pour
tradition.
Coke on you after you're done.
It's sticky.
Yeah,
it's real sticky. But the point I'm saying is they make an effort to make sure the logo is out because it's that vital. And the fact that he pushed Coke off to the side.
No, he did that on purpose. That was a statement.
Well, it might have been a statement.
You wouldn't do that just to. Because I could still leave the Coke there and drink my water like it's nothing.
Sure,
I don't know. I'd just take a sip of it. I'd just take a sip of the Coke and be like, "Thank you for Coke," and then drink your water. Whatever.
Just get yourself nice and hydrated before the press conference.
He did it on purpose just to mess with them.
Sure, I'm not saying he didn't do it on purpose. What I'm saying is it had an impact, and I'm genuinely curious to see how it's going to impact his bottom line. I'm guessing he's probably going to loss of sponsorship on that one.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. It's it would not augur well for you to upset Big Daddy Coke. I'm just saying. Yeah. I wouldn't think they take too kindly to that. Yeah, I just stumbled on that story. I'm like, wow,
that's kind of funny.
Because when I make a mistake at work, I might have to redo a spot. I might upset a client. I might upset Gene. When Cristiano Ronaldo messes up, he messes up big time. I mean, that's like the biggest mess up you could possibly have. That's just crazy to me. Let's chit chat about summertime activities because we are gearing up for the big summertime activities. And obviously, the school lunch program has taken a sort of a halt for the summertime season, but we want to make sure that there's still lunch for those who need it. So the Grab and Go lunch program is currently running at Roswell High, also at Goddard and Berindo Elementary from 8 a.m. to 12 noon, and that's Monday through Friday. If you want to get your Grab and Go lunches, you can do that there. If you're in the Dexter area, they're also going to have a Grab and Go lunch program. There's a couple of different places that they're going to be throughout the day. So depending upon what time it is, this is where you're going to go to get your Grab and Go lunch. The first location is at Dexter High School. That's going to be from 10 to 11 a.m. Then at the Midway Assembly of God Church at 63 Yakima Road in Midway, they're going to have the breakfast lunch combo, and they're going to be giving that away from 11 to noon. And after that, at the Midway Volunteer Fire Department from noon to 1, they're going to be set up there at 6477 Templeton Road. That's, again, the breakfast and lunch combo that you'll be getting. And it's open to all kids ages 18 and under, and that's going to run through August the 6th there in Dexter. A couple of things to chat about. As we mentioned with Juanita, the City of Roswell gearing up for UFO Festival 2021.
I saw that flyer.
Yeah,
it's packed.
I have posted it back here. There's a couple of events that are coming up in this that I'm genuinely excited about. The EDM pool party. That's got me real excited.
That does sound interesting.
That sounds really cool. It sounds like something I could take the kids out to, and probably they can enjoy themselves. I think
when's Adult Swim though?
Oh, Adult Swim is whenever I decide to get in the pool. That's how I roll. Because I'm an adult. I'm swimming. But that event's going to be just one of the many events that's happening. That interactive movie experience, that sounds amazing. So one of the cool things I got to do, my uncle, and a lot of people don't remember this, but in Albuquerque, do you know that big building? I think it's called It's now, or it used to be called It's, ITZ. It was like a pizza place, but they had like a roller coaster and stuff inside.
I don't know if it's still there.
The building might not be, but originally that building was built and outlaid to they put. I'm trying to think of how to explain this. Blockbuster Video back in the 1990s commissioned 2 locations. One I think in Dubai and one in Albuquerque, to start this place called Blockbuster Block Party. Now, this was...
Why Albuquerque?
I don't know. I still to this day don't know. My uncle was one of the people that did the wiring for the building. So I got to go to the grand opening of this thing. And this was, to put it in perspective, it's basically like Chuck E. Cheese or like Dave & Buster's now for adults.
Yeah.
And like on a massive scale.
I've been to an It's once.
This huge building. It was like the floors would light up. They had all these really cool like interactive video games. They had like, the punching bag where it'll measure like the strength of your punch. There was one, it had an arm wrestling game, and it was just a plastic arm sticking out of this thing, and based on who you picked was the level of like difficulty. So all this cool stuff. They served food, they served adult beverages.
Yeah.
But then they had this thing inside called Go Motion Theater. I will never forget this as long as I've lived. Now, other places have done this, but I've never seen it done quite like this. Okay. Go Motion Theater was 3 different theaters set up, and it had 3 rows of theater seats with seatbelts. Yeah. And the reason for the seatbelts was because you were about to go on a 15 to 20 minute interactive movie ride. Based on whatever movie you would be in. Like, I think the one I did was Jurassic Park. You were like running away from, or like trying to get away from like raptors or something like that. And so
it rocks you, doesn't
it's
it?
interactive. Your seat's moving around. All over the place. But at one point we were like this, because we were like, the clip goes to you're at a cliff and you feel yourself dangling from a cliff. And the way they set the seats up, they reclined not reclined, but they leaned all the way forward to where our feet were literally dangling while we were watching. It was such a cool experience.
Love 4D, 3D stuff like that. That's so cool.
So it's not going to be quite like that, but to see Spaceballs and have that kind of interaction of
It's with Spaceballs?
Well, that's the first night. Spaceballs is the first night. Men in Black is the second night. And I think the Mission to Mars, or I'm not sure what it is on the third night.
You're going to be sitting in chairs like that?
I'd imagine. Well, it's interactive, so they've set up to where if, let's say, for example, there's water on the screen, you might get wet. If there's wind blowing through you, your hair might get blown or something like this. So it's going to be an interactive movie experience. And that's just one of the events that's going to be happening there at UFO Festival. So again, more information, go to roswell-nm.gov or ufofestival.com. That's ufofestival.com for all the info you need to know about UFO Festival. That's going to be happening the weekend of the 4th of July. It's going to be a big.
I gotta say, thanks to everybody who's putting all these events on. It sounds like it's going to be fun.
Dude, what it is everybody's just itching to do something.
But I know it takes a lot to get all that stuff together. And
absolutely, yeah. The planning that goes into
out
it.
of town that gets brought in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, look at Portugal Circus. You can't help but feel bad for those folks. They planned that trip months in advance. They were going to be here, and they were here for a long time.
Here.
Hey, I wanted to remind you that we are currently, right now, in the middle of a massive blood shortage. We need your vein gravy, folks. We need it bad. We have got to get those numbers back up to where they should be. Now, if you are looking to make a donation, you can do just that. There's going to be a donation, or the Bloodmobile is going to be out at the Waste Isolation Pilot Plant in Carlsbad. That's actually happening today. The next time they're going to be here in Roswell is next Thursday, June 24th. They're going to be there in the foyer of Grace Community Church from 10 a.m. to 2:30. You get a free t-shirt when you make your donation there as well. They're also going to be taking donations on Tuesday, June 29th at the community room there in Pioneer Bank from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. here in Roswell. Free t-shirts for that one as well. Now, all donors must wear a face mask or cloth-based face covering when you donate. And the other thing, if they are full, they will not accept walk-ins. So the best bet is to call or text Stephanie at 840-8178 with any questions or to schedule an appointment. She'll be glad to answer all the questions that you have. But please, please make a way to make a donation because we are in desperate need of filling those blood supplies. Obviously, the universal blood type, I believe is A. I believe AB is the universal. No, type O. Type O is the universal type.
I should know mine, but
I think I'm. No, I know I'm positive. I'm some kind of positive. I have to be because my kid's mom she has the RH exception, which means she has a certain blood type that only like less than 1% of the world's population actually have. We used to mess with her and call her an alien. Yeah. But because of that, and because of my blood type, when she got pregnant the first time, it actually saw the baby as like a virus and took it out. That is what caused her first miscarriage. That's actually the reason we were able to have kids, because we found out that she required a shot called Rogam in order to carry the baby to full term. After that, when the next time she got pregnant, we were able to get her on the Rogam shot, and we carried the baby to term, and that's how I got Rhiannon and then Hunter subsequently. So it's fascinating to how blood types work like that. But that's the one way I know that I'm some kind of positive, but I don't know what kind. I'm definitely not negative. I am positive about that. So there is that.
But you can definitely, if you go
donate
blood,
donation,
you can figure it out.
They'll tell you. They will tell you your donation or your blood type right there on the spot. So make a donation with Vitalant. Call or text Stephanie at 840-8178. Coming up next hour, going to be replaying an interview we had yesterday with County Commissioners Jeff Bilberry and Will Cavan, chatting all about the 30-30 plan and their meeting happening tonight, not tomorrow night, but tonight at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. Stay tuned. You're listening to 106.5 KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. In a 7-2 ruling, the Supreme Court has voted to uphold Obamacare. Texas and 17 other states challenged the Affordable Care Act. The High Court, while not ruling on the merits of the challenge, says those parties lack standing to sue.
Justice Neil Gorsuch was in dissent, signing onto an opinion from Justice Samuel Alito. Former President Trump's two other appointees to the High Court, Amy Coney Barrett and Brett Kavanaugh, sided with the majority.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Also today, a big victory for religious freedom at the Supreme Court. The justices ruling against the city of Philadelphia, which refused to grant contracts to Catholic social services because the foster care agency will not place children with homosexuals. The High Court decision likely to have an impact all across the country, where a number of cities and states trying to force religious foster care and adoption agencies to put kids in LGBT homes or lose their contracts. Texas Governor Greg Abbott authorizing $250 million in state money to launch construction of a wall along the southern border.
In response to the federal government's neglect of all of the people who live along the border and the other people who live inland who are facing the consequences because of the spread of drugs like fentanyl, Texas is stepping up and doing more than any other state ever has done to respond to these challenges along the border.
Governor Abbott has invited former President Trump to tour the border. Mr. Trump accepting the invitation. He's expected to visit later in the month. Even though the economy is building strength as the pandemic fades, the number of people applying for jobless benefits increased to 412,000 last week. Wall Street stocks mixed. The Dow down 191 points, the NASDAQ trading 95 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I have a traumatizing childhood memory of an Easter egg hunt. The big hunt was a big deal in our family, and I have this memory of running and excitedly reaching for eggs, only to have my big brother and sister sweep in and steal them at the last second. It's Ryan, and unfortunately, this is a traumatizing reality our Faith and Family Mortgage team is seeing from families across the country. Families are finding their dream home, only to have it pulled away by another hunter at the last second. At United Faith Mortgage, we unfortunately cannot scare off the other hunters, but we can very quickly get you pre-approved and make it look as good as possible to sellers. And then, once you do grab that Easter egg,
see our story and read how our direct lender advantage can often save your family monthly and lifelong money at UnitedFaithMortgage.com.
We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1335. Rack NMLS number 65233. Equal housing lender. License in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
3 top editors and 2 senior executives of Hong Kong's pro-democracy Apple Daily newspaper have been arrested under the city's new China-backed national security law, detained on suspicion of colluding with a foreign country or external elements to endanger national security.
Some of the journalists that we've been speaking to feel that they're being targeted. There were reports earlier in the month from some journalists inside the newspaper that they'd been warned that Apple Daily would further be targeted and maybe even be raided or even closed. So the journalists that I've been speaking to, they feel that this is not just an attack on the pro-democracy movement, but there seems to be, in their words, a shift here. It seems that the media itself are also being under attack.
The BBC's Danny Vincent says the newspaper's founder, Jimmy Lai, is imprisoned for taking part in 2019 pro-democracy protests and faces multiple other charges as well. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. The House votes to make Juneteenth a federal holiday.
One day after the Senate approved a bill to make the celebration of the end of slavery in Texas the 11th federal holiday, the U.S. House approved the measure and sent it to President Biden's desk for signature. Texas Democrat Sheila Jackson Lee wrote the bill. She explains to colleagues its relevance.
This bill and this day is about freedom.
Republican Clay Higgins of Louisiana thinks the name of the holiday should be changed.
Why would the Democrats want to politicize this by co-opting the name of our sacred holiday of Independence Day?
The holiday is traditionally celebrated on June 19th, this Saturday.
It's correspondent Bernie Bennett. Former President Trump weighing in on the Biden-Putin summit. Mr. Trump calls it a good day for Russia, and he tells Fox News' Hannity, we gave a very big stage to Russia. We got nothing. Again, on Wall Street this hour, the Dow down 198 points, the NASDAQ 96 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. It on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. Mexican World Radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3 of A Morning Without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday, the penultimate day of your work week. Gearing up for yet another busy weekend around Roswell Way. All sorts of stuff happening. Obviously gearing up for the even busier time of just later on this month and the beginning of next month. Festival season getting underway. It's the busy season, folks, and we are here. Coming up this hour, going to be replaying the interview we had yesterday. We sat down and chatted with County Commissioners Jeff Bilberry and Will Cavan, and chatting all about just all the stuff that they've been up to with the 30-30 situation. With the lesser prairie chicken rearing its ugly head yet again, which I brought that up yesterday as almost just as like a joke, as a throwaway, because I remember when the lesser prairie chicken was like, everybody was talking about it like like a decade ago, and it's still an issue. Anyways, we'll talk about that when we do our sit down with Jeff Bilberry and Will Cavan coming up here in just a few minutes. And of course, all your other hourly features, which include your SRN Business Report, Town Hall News coming up a little bit later on in the program as well. Hey, wanted to remind you that if you miss any portion of the program, first of all, shame on you. How dare you not listen to us all the time? But if you did miss any portion of the program, have no fear. You can always go back and listen to it in its entirety at ksvptv.com. Just click on the Mornings with Mike Winters tab And there you'll see all of our shows in their entirety. Hey, we are getting into, like I said, the busy season. The heat season is on, and we're getting out there and doing all sorts of fun activities, outdoor activities, and maybe you are an avid shooter. Well, if you are into shooting sports, have I got the place for you? Zia Guns USA in Roswell. They are your destination store. They have professional staff, and they can help you get anything that you want or need in the realm of firearms. Right now, Zia Guns USA in Roswell has 22 ammo in stock, so make sure to pick that up while it lasts. They also have 50-count boxes of 9mm ammo in stock, and the largest, by the way, Vortex optics dealer in the state. So if you're looking for, your spotting scopes, anything like that, they also carry Athlon spotting scopes. So if you're in the market, they can definitely take care of you. Zia Guns USA in Roswell is the Benelli, Stoger, and Uberte dealer for the Pecos Valley. There is no need to go out of town because it's all right here in your backyard. It's where they'll buy your used guns too. They've got cash on hand in store. I like to think that the chair that the owner uses in the back is just made of stacks of cash. That's how confident they are that there's cash in their store and you're not going to come take it. But they'll gladly buy your gun so you can walk in today and walk out with cash in hand. Zia Guns USA in Roswell, the first to open on Sundays but close on Saturdays because they spend their Saturdays with family, and you should too. By the way, Zia Guns USA now carries Dr. Squatch soap and accessories. If you want to smell like a man, they also have your Black Rifle coffee, all that other fun stuff and accessories as well. Zia Guns USA at 1907 North Main. Give them a call at 622-0023. 10 minutes after 9 o'clock, going to pause, pay a couple of these bills, and after the break, our interview with County Commissioners Will Cavan and Jeff Bilberry on the other side of these on a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We still have warm downslope wind coming off the mountains, and that'll keep things hot for us over the next couple of days. Sunny and a little bit breezy today. Our afternoon highs between 97 and 100. Overnight it'll be clear, lows in the upper 60s, and then we'll be in the low 100s tomorrow with plenty of sunshine. Looking at the upcoming weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, low 100s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
He's a big dumb animal, isn't he, folks? Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Currently 82 degrees in Roswell with humidity about 32%. But notice Coca-Cola didn't lose any money when I made a mistake. Isn't that something? Winds out of the south at about 8 miles an hour. The barometer about 30.15 inches with a dew point of 49 degrees. Currently looking at 100 for the high today under mostly sunny skies. Winds out of the south 10 to 15 miles an hour. And pretty much more of the same for every day throughout the rest of this week. Mostly clear, 68 for the overnight low tonight. Getting back up to 101 for the high on Friday, 103 for the high on Saturday. As we're all out and about doing our thing, please keep yourselves hydrated. Find shade whenever possible if you have to be out in there. And if you don't have to be out in it, then don't be out in it. Find a nice body of water to dive into and keep yourself cool. Because 103 for the high on Saturday, but 109 degrees for the high on Sunday. It's going to suck. I'm just saying, it sucks already, but it's going to suck even worse at 109. I'm just guessing that's, we're going to see a lot of an increase in heat strokes getting admitted to the hospital. So that's, like I said, please take every effort and every precaution that you can. Keep yourselves hydrated. Lots and lots of water, liquids in general. Try to avoid sodas for the most part because those actually dehydrate you. They're not great for you. Beer really dehydrates you. Still going to drink it, but just saying it does. But yeah, keep yourself hydrated. Find shade whenever possible. Stay out of direct sunlight. And of course, sunscreen up, lest you become a army of lobsters. 12 minutes after 9 o'clock. Now we're going to pause to pay a couple bills. And after this, the interview we had with Will Cavan and Jeff Bilberry. Stay tuned.
If you have a student who's ready to further their education, think Eastern New Mexico University first. The state of New Mexico, through the Lottery Scholarship Program, will pay 100% of your student's tuition if you are a New Mexico resident. Don't miss out on this great opportunity to further your student's higher education at the only 4-year university on the High Plains. For more information, visit enmu.edu. Explore, experience, excel. Eastern New Mexico University.
Are you looking for a new church home? Tabernacle Baptist Church in Roswell personally invites you to any one of their 4 services, with 3 on Sunday and 1 on Wednesday. Services are Sunday at 10 and 11 in the morning and 6 in the evening. On Wednesday evening, service is at 7. Tabernacle Baptist Church is across from DeBrenham Stadium in Roswell. The family at Tabernacle Baptist Church would love to have your family join them as they celebrate God. Come and grow together.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Well, the geraniums were a little slow at getting started this year, but now they're ready to go. Hi, this is Jim Gill with a lesson in delayed gratification. At Roswell Seed Company, we grow our own geraniums, and that old polar vortex sure slowed them down. But now they may be the sturdiest, most colorful geraniums you've ever put in the ground, so come get yours today. Kind of like your neighbor's son who's still living in the basement. Late bloomers can be the brightest of them all. Or maybe not. Have you seen that kid?
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Elephants use these skin folds on their bodies to crush mosquitoes. Mike Winters uses his to hide M&Ms. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us in studio this morning, County Commissioners Jeff Bilberry and Will Cavan. How are you doing this morning, gentlemen?
Everything's going good this morning, Sean. Good to be with you.
So far, so good. I think we've kind of hit a... I'm going to have you get on that mic just a little closer there. I think we've hit a weird stride where this happened the other day, and it was like the first time in a long time, and I noticed it. I was like, hey, Mike, I think this is the first slow news day we've had in a really long time. Like, there was just nothing going on that one specific day. It was just like, it's a slow news day. We haven't had one of those in a real long time.
And then what happened?
Then of course we went back into utter chaos and madness. But for that one day, it was just like an eddy in the raging stream that's been 2020 and 2021. But that one shining moment, it was calm. You guys haven't had that calm yet, have you? You haven't hit those slow news days, I'm assuming.
No, I can't say we have. And you know, between flooding and the heat and everything else, I mean, it's just a nonstop deal.
Constant
for all of us. So
we've literally had all of the seasons in the last 5 months. It was blizzard, it was torrential downpour, half the city, underwater, and now heat wave. It's been madness.
Well, if you go back to October, late October, we had that heavy snow that was kind of. I mean, we've had snow in October before, but not like that.
No.
So, no, you're right. It's been different.
And like I said, you guys, we were talking about this off the air, but you guys have not had a slow season. It's been constantly going, and you guys are out there, making things happen, making decisions. You guys have been working something interesting as of late. This 30-30 plan. I'm real interested to learn more about that. So what is that? Tell us a little bit more about that, and how did it come about, and what are you guys seeking to do with it?
Well, I'm going to let Commissioner Bilberry kind of start this one.
Sure.
Well, it started back in January when President Biden signed an executive order in the name of tackling the climate crisis at home and abroad. And as you delve into this thing more, it's a big picture of what they feel like of preserving the lands for climate change, and it's going to be accomplished by 2030. 9 years from now.
Oh, yeah?
So it's a plan that's pretty advanced. A lot of radical environmentalists have calling for permanent protection of 30% of Americans' lands and oceans. What does that mean? What does that look like? We've asked these questions. It's a pretty broad deal when you go looking at it.
It's the mindset of, we're planning it out right now. We'll get to the specifics later, is kind of what they're saying.
Basically, it's what it looks like.
When does later come?
Yeah, it sure does.
When's later going to come?
How we're going to get there. And I mean, the thing is with the land and the water aspect of it. I mean, when you talk about water, it's our rivers, it's our lakes, it's our coastlines, and there's a lot of businesses that go on in those areas. Not to mention our land, where we have our homes, we have our ranches, our farms, and oil and gas industry going on. You name it.
Yeah.
And so there's kind of, they started out with this as the 30-30 plan, and now they've kind of changed it up, and they're calling it, I think it's the America the Beautiful deal, to try and throw some lipstick on the pig.
Yeah. Shine up the turd.
But the fact of the matter is this is a global deal. I mean, we're calling it 30-30, but if you're looking at the global perspective of it, global wants 50-50.
Yeah, it's not just the United States; it's a global thing that's going on.
Right, and it's kind of all the countries kind of taking those proactive steps. But if you look at the steps they're trying to take, here in the United States, it's unsustainable. It's what they look to accomplish is not a sustainable model.
Well, and you're right about that, Sean. And the fact is that this isn't going to be as detrimental to the eastern half of the United States,
right,
as it's going to be to the western half, because the United States still owns a majority of the land in the western half of the United States through the different federal entities. So
once you go west of the Mississippi, the scope changes.
Yeah,
and it affects everybody there. And some of the stuff that I've looked at, it will affect people east of the coast because it's primarily private property, and so they're trying to figure out how to deal with that. And it'll come through endangered species. It'll come through water regulations. There'll be ways to manipulate where they'll control the private property.
I've heard this phrase tossed around a lot. It's or a couple times. It's the totalitarian tiptoe. Basically, it's a slow movement into madness. Essentially, we're easing our way in there, so it's not a shocker. So it's not coming all at once.
They're just going to nibble away at it. Well,
yeah.
One of the things, Will, that the National Geographic Society, they stated that it takes 440 million acres more than the government owns right now. That's what their plan is, to take 440 million more acres to meet the 30-30 goal.
Yeah, and we're not making
440 million acres, which you already have, I think, 643 million acres they already control, I believe, in the United States. But you take 440 million more.
That's the rest of it.
It's not going to just be west of the Mississippi.
Right. Yeah, and the more they increase these regulations, make protected lands. We talked about it off the air. And I use the lesser prairie chicken as just kind of the silly example to me. But all these situations where they're establishing safe zones and cutting off access to these lands, it's cutting people off their livelihoods.
Well, and that's exactly it, Sean. I was just out in Montana for our WIR meetings out there, and we were fixing to get into talking about the 30-30 plan and land grab, as it is. And that day they came out with the fact that they were coming back for round 2 or round 3 of trying to put the lesser prairie chicken on the endangered species list. So all it is trying to eat up more and take more control of land with these ACECs and these like wilderness areas. And they're going to tell you that they're collaborating with us and they're working to conserve and conservation and stuff. But when it comes right down to it, it's about control and them taking it.
Yeah, what people see when they see New Mexico is they see the North 40. They don't tend to see, south, like the industries that exist down here. They look at us as like the rest of, New Mexico is Albuquerque and Santa Fe. They don't see, the actual hard work that comes from this part of the country and all those lands that they're, cordoning off. There's actual money that is, livelihoods that are dependent on it.
Well, southeastern New Mexico is funding the state of New Mexico.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't work without us. And so it's that mindset of the plan that they have, that they're putting in place. I don't feel like they've necessarily looked into all of the gaps in it, And I think
what they want is we're one of the seat at our table,
right?
To be part of whatever our business is, or in our communities, whatever, they want to sit at our table to help us, quote unquote, manage,
right,
and tell us what they think we need to do. We're the best managers of our own.
We don't need any assistance. We've handled our own.
We're doing good.
Well,
exactly.
And that's exactly right. And the thing is you go back to energy, and you're talking about Texas and everything like that. Here in Chaves County, and I think most people, common sense, are energy opportunists. I mean, the renewables, your wind farms, your solar, all those things, but you're not gonna be able to move forward without your oil and gas,
right,
and without your coal-fired plants.
No,
and with
it's
your
a
gas.
it's a multifaceted plan. You need all of these things in order to make the whole thing work.
You've got to stay balanced.
And
you have to.
That's kind of the mindset I've always had. Is you don't we cut one off completely. You're cutting the entire system off. It's an overall lessening of the strain on all of the different forms of energy that we're getting. Drawing a little bit from solar, drawing a little bit from wind, drawing some from wave, drawing from oil and gas or from coal, drawing from nuclear. There's drawing from all these different places to lessen the strain on the systems as a whole.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, we were out in Spokane a couple of years ago, and man, I tell you what, the use of your rivers and your water are a pretty powerful source of energy.
Oh yeah, hydroelectricity is amazing.
But you got to be balanced.
Right.
There's just no ifs, ands, or buts.
100%. And that's something that we've seen countless times, and we've actually seen a couple of times just in the last less than 6 months with the situation in Texas, with the power restrictions, with the situation with ERCOT and how they the half of the state was shut down completely for days. People lost their lives. And over here, just a few miles, on the other side of the border, we managed. It was rough, but we managed.
Right. Well, we ended up having to take power outages so that we could help out our friends in Texas and give them some power to keep going. But
I remember the day of the sweeping brownouts. That was rough because we were here in studio and we were down for that 2 hours. That's when you're dealing with minutes of dead air, that really gets into your head.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be problematic,
sure.
and you can't put all your eggs in one basket with some of this stuff they're pushing, and to imagine that by 2035 that we're going to be in all electric cars.
No.
Is it's wishful thinking.
Indeed, I agree 100%. It's show me, prove it. It's the number of. I was thinking about. There's literally, I think, one charging station in the entirety of Roswell right now, or I think they're in the process of putting one at the McDonald's.
Yeah,
and that's it. It's like if you have an electric car, what do you do? I guess charge
in
home.
California last week, and they're everywhere.
Yeah,
on the major interstates, they're everywhere. So. It's coming, but it's the infrastructure of it's not there. Once again, it's balanced, like you were talking about.
Right.
What works in metropolitan areas doesn't work in rural areas.
Exactly.
Well, that's exactly right. Well, Jeff, we live here in Roswell, and we're about 200 miles from anywhere as far as going to Albuquerque or Lubbock or wherever. And you see these old places that are deteriorating. That used to be gas stations because you had to have those gas stations every 50 miles or so to get. But we may be back to, if you get to that deal, you may be back to having those stations created so that people can stop and recharge their cars.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but like you said, we're at the beginning of all of this. It's a cool idea. It's a great, it'd be great to put all these things into practice, but we're not there yet.
No.
And to jump to the conclusion of, okay, well, we've got the concept. Now it'll happen by this date. That's out of the,
and no carbon footprint.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, really.
Right.
So I don't know if you've ever seen any pictures from the construction of one of these wind turbines, but you would be amazed at the amount of concrete and rebarb that's used just for the base of it. But you're concerned about the footprints that you're putting out here for our environment and climate and everything. And
and we talk about renewable energies on that part. There's not one thing on that wind turbine that's renewable. We can't reuse it.
Right.
And once it's out of date, antiquated, there's no place for it to.
Yeah.
There's nothing to recycle on it.
And then you look at manufacture of parts. The factories that are manufacturing those parts. What's running their power? Are they using coal, nuclear to run their power? You trace the cake back to its ingredients, so to speak.
Right. Well, and then the fossil fuels you have to use to keep it in operation and everything. So, well, let's jump back to this 30-30 deal.
Yeah.
We're going to have a good county commission meeting tomorrow morning. And that's going to be one of our main topics. One of the folks that we have working with us on this is Miss Margaret Byfeld. And, she's really dug into this deal, and then we're gonna have a special meeting tomorrow night at 7.
Oh wow!
At the fairgrounds, so that more people can attend. Our meetings are in the morning during the week, and so you got our guys that are taking care of
it's a little prohibitive
working that will have the opportunity to come tomorrow night. But I'll let Jeff kind of talk about that a little bit more.
Sure. One thing they mentioned is Margaret's with American Stewards of Liberty.
Yes,
and they helped us a lot back when we were working with Prairie Chicken before, and so they've done a lot of work for the county and then for the industries here in the county. Some of the things that, and I would ask anybody who's listening. Everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody's got internet. Google Biden's 30-30 by plan.
Yeah.
You're going to get overrun with all types of information, but educate yourself.
Right.
Some of the things they're asking or going to do is to incentivize people to participate in conservation, they call it. There's already a lot of programs that a lot of people are in that are incentivized. We just look at what's happened just through the COVID, people receiving unemployment and all these checks from the government, and there's people not going back to work because of it. So anyway, I think everybody needs to take a bigger look, open their eyes wider to what's really going on here.
Absolutely.
But if they feel like they can buy us out or entice us into something through incentivizing through financial means, everybody has to make that decision themselves, what they're willing to give up. There's always things come with a price.
Yeah, and the more that you're willing to give up, the more they're willing to take.
They
more and more each time.
Some of the stuff that I've read is a little bit disturbing. About who's at the table to help make these decisions.
See, and that's one thing that I think needs to be touched on, and one thing that I sort of I like about modern internet culture is a lot of people aren't just soaking up the information. People are following the money. People are going up the ladder to see who's funding these studies, who's putting the money behind these organizations, these groups, these PACs, and a lot of that is sort of getting exposed, so to speak. People aren't just being bottle fed anymore, and I really like the fact that it's almost like a wake up.
Myself, that's how I've learned a lot of this, and what little I do know is that you need people. I don't care whether you live in the city or the town, or you live on a ranch or a farm, wherever you live. You need to take a look at this because it's a bigger plan than just quote unquote a land grab.
Sure.
Which it is.
It's
but
that.
We need to take. More. Everybody needs to educate yourself because each business or each family, each person. When they look at it, it could affect you in a different way than it could your neighbor. But collectively, when you look at us here in southeastern New Mexico or the state of New Mexico or the West, it's going to affect us. Right. It's coming.
Absolutely.
This is coming. It's not something that's going to be, that'll never happen. I've even been told, well, it'll never happen. It'll be tied up in courts, lawyers. That'd be exactly what they want to happen, and they'll move their agenda forward. We've watched all of that for 6 months.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter what you do. Their agenda keeps moving on.
Holding the fence up and kind of ushering your stuff through while other people are looking up here.
Kind of like what's going on at the border right now. But,
yeah.
So, and we focus a lot on the land aspect of this 30-30 plan, but the 30 is one part land, but the other 30 is your waterways, like once again your lakes and your rivers and your coasts. That's going to affect a lot of people's livelihoods.
Yeah, and that's exactly what will happen east of the Mississippi. It'll be through water. It'll be through controlling. if they can get control of the water, then they can control whatever they. And I say anybody who has control of the water has control of what you do, and we're all vulnerable to that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, southeastern New Mexico and West Texas, we just even in the last several years, people remember it was tangible that we've had issues with water rights and who had access to what, and it's of great importance. Who's controlling the water is controlling everything else.
Well, but it's basically down to a constitutional right.
Right.
Our constitutional rights have been infringed on time and time again, and this is just one more of those rights that we have that we the people are not being represented.
Right. Well, you shut down, so you can shut down your offshore oil drilling, you shut down your commercial fishing programs, you can shut down a lot of stuff, and once again, it takes away the livelihood. And then, of course, we'll compensate you for that and just send you a check on a monthly basis, and that's the problem, and that's where we're at right now.
It's once again get on the teat.
You can America the Beautiful is what they're putting out right now for this 30-30 plan, and it looks really great. Like I said, on the outside, it's this big facade, but you walk through the door, and also you're like, well, this wasn't what I was buying into.
One of the big questions is how will this come about? I mean, will it go through federal land policies, management acts, the National Forest Management Act, Antiquities Act? They've already used these things to create monuments, big monuments, and take massive amount of acreages off of tax rolls, out of people's hands. Once it goes to wilderness, no matter what you think, you will not be able to go in there the way you want to go in there. There will always be. You may be able to go into wilderness, but you can't go in the way you can now to access public lands, quote unquote.
Access, but with caveats.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Well, I can tell you right now, the state of Utah is up in arms because of this stuff, and they're just eating it up, the land up there right now, and the monuments that they've created and everything else, and it just it's a bad deal.
And it stopped. The oil and gas will stop anything that's a benefit to mankind. Basically, will cease.
Right.
I mean, they want there's some verbiage about 50% of the land in the United States being taken up.
It's one of those things where if you take a step back and you look at, if you have one industry, all the different tentacles of that industry that are affected. If you affect oil and gas, that is, there are so many different industries that are touched by that, and so many different places that are that are impacted, and those tentacles then have other tentacles that are impacted, and it's a spider web of issues essentially. So
well, I mean, you're exactly right about that spider web. Yes. I mean, right now, because of COVID and everything's been shut down, your manufacturing and everything, people's refrigerators are breaking down, their air conditioning units are going out, their cars are breaking down with parts, and everybody's trying to find parts and everything, and they can't because of the trickle down effect of this COVID stuff. So you hadn't had anybody back to work, and they're not going back to work right now because they're making money
because they're
making more money staying home and not going back to work. And it's just ridiculous.
I had a friend who just happened to slip out how much they were making in their unemployment, and I wanted to go punch a wall. I'm like, I work hard, man. But
well, the funny thing is, I saw a meme on Facebook the other day that I had to share. But back, Jeff and I aren't young guys anymore. But back in the day,
stop.
Back in the day, being on unemployment wasn't something that you wore a badge.
No.
And it was kind of you were kind of ashamed of it.
Yeah.
And right now it's like I'm making bank. I'm happy being unemployed because I'm making money.
Yeah.
And that's not what this country was founded on.
Right.
Our hard work, character, work ethic, and everything. And now it's kind of, our government has kind of put you in a position where, hey, we'll give you money if you just stay home.
Yeah.
And it's a sad state of affairs.
It's a scary precedent because it shows me how comfortable we as a society are to just slipping into that mode.
Right.
Of just, shh, here's a bottle, shh, and just letting the government do it.
And that shh is socialism.
Right. And
Socialist.
That's scary.
Socialism.
That's scary, you know.
Yeah,
and
it really is.
That's why we appreciate guys like you who are out there on the forefront who are, stopping stuff like this before it happens.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
we're going to get in front of it.
A lot of weird analogies we've used this morning. I've noticed some spider webs, a lot of bottle feeding, but it's painting a picture essentially of that we're standing on the on the precipice, so to speak, standing at the doorway of some serious changes that could happen, some serious things that could affect a lot of industries. And if we don't step up and do something about it now, it'll be too late.
I would just everybody's listening that this radio signal goes out to. You're capable of picking up your phone or going to your computer and looking at these things and thinking, well, that's they're talking what they're talking about. It's not. It's probably never going to happen. I don't know why they're even stirred up. If you'll start studying some of this, you're going to get stirred up because you're going to understand how it's going to affect. Just the last year, what was it when all of a sudden there were no groceries in the grocery stores when COVID started?
Yeah, paper towels.
Have you forgotten? Paper towels and toilet paper.
Yep.
Has anybody forgotten how vulnerable we are with just in a few days?
Yeah.
I mean, we're days away from. I'm not a conspiracy, but I'm just telling you.
And
wake up, America.
That was a scary thing too, because you're like, oh, we are literally. I have enough in my house to survive for like a week. It's like if I needed to, or some people have they're good for like a month. It's like those little things. You start to kind of look at that from that perspective of, oh, we are not ready for anything if the worst thing happens. Yeah.
But it just goes back to the fact when we're talking about this 30-30 plan.
Yeah.
I would just invite everybody to educate yourself. Come to our meeting tomorrow night. Listen to Margaret Byfield and her presentation. You may agree, you may disagree. That's fine.
But
I would just encourage you to be educated about what's going on.
Ask questions. I mean, that's the biggest part of this deal. And I got to say, with where we're at right now, and we're in pretty good shape here in Chaves County, the city of Roswell, and everything as far as our law enforcement stuff. But if you're looking around the country right now and you see the things that are going on with our law enforcement, it's this defund police, and you can't do this, you can't do that, and I get it. We've had some situations where there's some bad apples, as it would be out there with law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't throw a blanket out on every police officer, sheriff's deputy, state police. I mean, 95% of those guys are out there to protect you and to save you, to do their jobs. And it's just a damn shame that they're getting thrown under the bus.
The squeaky wheels get the grease, so to speak, and that's getting that bad shine.
And people are going to figure. I mean, you just out in Atlanta right now, you've got a community out there in Atlanta that's wanting to create their own law enforcement. Why in the world would you have to force yourself to go get private security? Mm-hmm. But you have a lot of our legislators and public figures and stuff like that. Well, they're all throwing law enforcement under the bus, but you see them. They've got their own personal security walking around with them.
You're starting to see the rise of like militias, of Minutemen, of people taking their own, taking matters into their own hands, essentially.
Right, and that's not a good thing.
No, it's not. We should be in a position where we can, trust our law enforcement. Let them do the job that we are paying them to do, protecting and serving. So the meeting tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. At the Eastern Mexico State Fairgrounds. It's going to be there in the back office building, I'm assuming.
Yes.
The annex, whatever.
The new building.
The new building, catty corner from the commercial building.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So 7 p.m. It's absolutely open to the public. We want to invite everybody out there. Come with questions, and come with an open mind too. The way I approach this, I was actually telling Tanner before you guys got here, is I'm going to approach this from kind of the perspective of a rube, because I am. Because I'm dumb, y'all. Like I was blessed with sort of the ability to talk kind of good, but I'm dumb. So I like to just kind of come from this perspective of educate me. Let me know where we are and how we can get to the next place we need to be.
And that's really what we're trying to do, is educate people in our county and anyone that's out.
You can say it. Dumb folks like you. You can say it.
No.
I feel like if we don't present this for people to see so they can educate themselves. and they can make decisions about how they feel about it.
Well, knowledge and awareness are big factors in this deal, and so people need to be knowledgeable and aware of and that's one of the reasons why they've just kind of thrown this deal out there. I mean, it's that deal of throwing something on the wall to see what's going to stick, and so this deal is still in their planning stages, and so they're still trying to figure out how they're going to implement this and how they're going to, but a sure shot sign of what they're planning is the fact that they've come back with this lesser prairie chicken deal again.
Right.
So they're going to use a lot of different means to take control.
I said back whenever we was dealing with the prairie chicken and lizard before, even though we got it slowed down and basically stopped, I said they're studying this. They're studying what we're doing, and they'll come back with a different plan, and it'll be harder to get around it, and they're just smart about what they do. Everybody thinks in a year and a half that things could change in these administrations. Hopefully they do.
Sure.
We need to get out and vote. We need to get out and get the right people in office to make these changes.
2022.
These people think there'll never be another change.
Right.
That they're invincible now. Yeah. And they can move forward without any obstacles.
No, there'll be plenty more opportunities.
Well, and the bad thing is that so back in 1973 was when the Endangered Species Act was created, almost 50 years ago, and we're still working off the same script from 50 years ago.
Right.
And there needs to be some changes to the Endangered Species Act.
Yeah, I would agree.
Time. It's changed.
The fact is that it's a blanket right now. It's basically a blanket of any species that is in danger, but we're not looking at ecosystems and the way that ecosystems are set up. Sure, it would be a tragedy if say, for example, the orca went extinct or something like that. But you look at what other species would be affected by that. If you look at for example, honeybees or just bees in general, for example, the impact that they have on our ecosystem as a whole. Right. It's amazing. I mean, I think that there needs to be almost a priority system put in place. The lesser prairie chicken, sure, but bees, like there needs to be a more focus put on the more important species. I feel.
And you say that, Sean. We'll just throw the Mexican gray wolf and some of these predators in that they're wanting to reintroduce into our ranches and farms and outside areas. I mean. Those guys are nothing but predators, the Mexican gray wolf. So it's kind of, why don't we reintroduce the T-Rex?
Yeah, just bring them all back.
How to figure out how to bring them back. So.
Jurassic Park. Let's make that.
Don't give them any ideas.
Yeah, they might be listening right now.
Yeah.
So 7 p.m. tomorrow evening, Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds in the new building. If folks want more information about what you guys are all about, what you guys are doing, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, our numbers are on our website.
We're on our website.
Bill Williams is our county manager, who I know you've seen in here, and he's doing a great job. And one of the things that we do as county commissioners is that when we got constituents that are calling us about something, that's Bill's job as the county manager. So typically we give it to him, and if he can't handle it, he'll find somebody who will, and then you go from there. But we've got a great family that are running Chavez County, and our elected officials, Mike Harrington and Charlotte and Cindy Fuller and our commissioners and everybody. We work really well together to take care of Chavez County.
And that's one thing that I think is obvious, is that the people that we kind of have in place right now, and it's you guys work really well. It's a really well-oiled machine of I think it all comes down to communication. The departments are talking to each other, and that's vital.
It is. Well, and the best thing we're out of this COVID stuff, and Commissioner Bill Berry and I sat down and had breakfast with Jim Stovall and Chuck Schmidt from the BLM, and we had a great conversation.
Exactly.
Those guys are really good guys representing us out here. They're doing their jobs. But
by the way, Bureau of Land Management, we need to clarify.
Yeah,
there's another BLM. Just for clarification.
You're right about that. Bureau of Land Management. I apologize, but they're really a couple good guys representing us, and I say representing us. I mean, they're working for the federal government, but they try and keep us informed and keep us where we know where we need to be taking a stand on stuff. So
yeah, communication's happening, but also listening is happening. That's the other vital thing.
That person-to-person deal is just crucial.
Absolutely.
Emails and text messages and phone calls is nothing like being person to person.
I was joking the other day that I literally, I'm on the board of directors for Tabosa, and last month I literally I've been there on the board for like 6 or 7 months now, but I literally met the rest of the board for the first time last month. Had our first face-to-face meeting. It was very odd. I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. Known you for months. But so it's good to kind of get back to the face-to-face aspect of things. And also, meetings, can happen in person, like the one tomorrow night. We want to encourage everybody to come out there tomorrow, 7 p.m. At the Eastern Mexico State Fairgrounds. Come with questions and come ready to listen, because lots of great info out there.
There'll be a lot of good information.
It will be.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate having you. And,
appreciate everything you guys do. And tell Mike not to fall off the cliff or anything out there at the canyon.
I joked with him that you're a brave man letting your wife take you out to a middle of a desert where there's plenty of places to hide a body. Like, look, I want to make it to the top of Pecos Valley Broadcasting, but not like this, man. Yeah. Not like that. So thank you guys so much for your time.
You bet.
We appreciate you.
We are announcing a public meeting regarding the Roswell Great Blocks project. The meeting planned for Wednesday, June 23rd at 5:30 p.m. on Bassett Auditorium at the RMAC. The purpose of the meeting is to discuss the proposed Roswell Great Blocks design. Residents, adjacent landowners, and all interested parties are invited and encouraged to attend and provide their comments, concerns, and suggestions. A key deadline looming for lifting the last public health restrictions in New Mexico, with Democrat Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham wanting at least 60% of residents fully vaccinated against COVID by Thursday, today, so the state could move forward with plans in the coming weeks to fully reopen the economy. Vaccinations have been inching up only by a couple of tenths of a percent each day, and state officials said Wednesday an additional 21,000 people would need to get either their second shots or the one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine to hit the mark. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
He gives Putin a clear field to attack America on the world stage again and again and again. Putin had 45 minutes to beam what was just nothing but anti-American propaganda into homes and businesses all across the globe. This worked in his favor, unobstructed, and not that Joe would have stood up for us anyway. Not that he's capable of even standing up for us. Unobstructed by an opposing response. Somebody made a comment. Well, Hannity, it sounds like you're not cheering for America. I said, no, I feel awful that this is the mess that this country is in right now. Because weakness is not going to end well. It's not going to be good for the United States, we the American people, and it's not going to be good for the world either.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. U-Haul is the world's largest advertiser in the Yellow Pages. Too bad millennials don't know what the Yellow Pages are. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 8 minutes away from 10 o'clock. Let's get a quick check of that weather.
Bob Reed Pest Control is committed to providing the most modern pest control management solutions for homes and businesses. Bob Reed can handle every aspect of pest control, from general insects to trees, shrubs, yard treatments, and commercial weed control. They're the only authorized Sentricon termite elimination system operator in southeastern New Mexico. No job is too big or too small. Call Bob Reed Pest Control today. Southeastern New Mexico's pest management professionals, 623-5344, and find them fast in names and numbers.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We still have warm downslope wind coming off the mountains, and that'll keep things hot for us over the next couple of days. Sunny and a little bit breezy today. Our afternoon highs between 97 and 100. Overnight it'll be clear, lows in the upper 60s, and then we'll be in the low 100s tomorrow with plenty of sunshine. Looking at the upcoming weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, low 100s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently looking at 84 degrees around Roswell Way. Humidity about 32%. Winds out of the south at about 8 miles an hour. Barometer at 30.15 inches with a dew point of 49 degrees. As Steve said back there, downslope winds coming off the mountains. That's what to blame for the sun, or for the heat. Not the sun, not the fact that it's summertime in southeastern New Mexico. Nope. Downslope winds from the mountains. 100 for the high today under mostly sunny skies. Winds out of the south 10 to 15 miles an hour. For tonight, mostly clear, dropping down to about 68 for the overnight low. Winds out of the south once again 5 to 15 miles an hour. Sunny skies and hot for your Friday. 101 for the high. Is it real hot? Winds out of the south 5 to 15 miles an hour. Mostly clear, 67 for your Friday. Friday evening, winds out of the southwest 10 to 15, increasing between 15 to 25 as the night progresses. Sunny skies, 103 for your Saturday. Winds going to be calm around 5 to 10 miles an hour throughout the day. And then for your Sunday, it's the hot one. I know they're all hot ones, but this is the scorcher among scorchers. Mostly sunny skies, 109 degrees for the high. Yuck. 6 minutes away from 10 o'clock. Let's pause and get updated with our SRN Business Report.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Rich Thomason. A lower open for Wall Street this morning after the Fed suggested it might ease off economic stimulus earlier than previously thought. Even though the economy is strengthening as the pandemic fades, the number of people applying for unemployment increased to 412,000 last week.
Jobless claims rose 37,000 from the week before, despite widespread evidence that the economy and job market are rebounding steadily from the pandemic recession. As the job market has strengthened, the number of weekly applications for unemployment aid has fallen for most of the year. The weekly number of jobless claims generally reflects the pace of layoffs.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Ford's outlook for the second quarter is improving. The automaker is seeing strong customer orders for 4 of its new vehicles, although there is still uncertainty around semiconductor supply. With business, I'm Rich Thomason.
Times are changing, and today's funerals aren't always the sad and solemn events you might expect. This is Gabriel Casaus from Lagrone Funeral Chapel. Along with hymns and scriptures, today's funeral services are often filled with fish stories, country songs, and a joke or two, golf clubs and hot rods, favorite recipes, and kitchen disasters. At Lagrone Funeral Chapel, we believe a funeral should reflect your loved one's personality, passion, and sense of humor. When you lose a loved one, we're here, because at Lagrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
900 South Main, Roswell.
Customizable office equipment is one stop away at PTS Office Systems. Of course, you and the business next door do different things, so you need different office equipment. PTS Office Systems has fully customizable office equipment in stock, waiting to be delivered to your business. Get fully customized office equipment to meet your office's specific needs. The day and age of one-size-fits-all office equipment is gone. Shop around at PTS Office Systems today at 217 North Main in downtown Roswell.
As the school year comes to an end and COVID restrictions start to ease, don't lose sight of the lessons learned. Cover your cough, positive personal hygiene, respect one another, show and tell others you love them. Fiscal and social responsibility are great ways to show your love. This is Damon Graham, your local New York Life agent. I can help you show your love to others. Call me at 575-623-0803 so we can determine how you best can show your love. Expect to be blessed.
Are you okay?
COVID affects everyone and can make us feel alone and overwhelmed with stress, anxiety, and grief. Many of us are worried about jobs, money, housing, testing, and missing classmates, friends, and family. We can help you cope with COVID. Call 505-954-1057 now for free and confidential phone counseling. We are in this together. Cope with COVID. Call 505-954-1057. Paid for by New Mexico Behavioral Health Services Division.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Turtles can breathe through their butts. We imagine you know some people who do that too, because that's where their heads reside. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. 2 minutes away from 10 o'clock, drawn this Thursday morning to a close. I want to remind you that the Rush Limbaugh program will be on your radios coming up after 10 o'clock. And also, if you missed any portion of today's program, you can always go back and watch it in its entirety at ksvptv.com. Big thanks to Richard Garcia from the Roswell Literacy Council for joining us in the 7 o'clock hour, talking all about the big event happening this Saturday out on the Chavez County Courthouse lawn from 11 to 4. Juanita Jennings with the City of Roswell joining us in the 8 o'clock hour, chatting all about the upcoming UFO Festival and all the festivities that go along with it, plus just outlining and highlighting the major ad campaign that the City of Roswell has undertaken to get the eyeballs upon our city and also get the tourism dollars in our town and the heads in the beds. Big props to you, Juanita, for doing that for the city. And the 9 o'clock hour, of course, you heard that interview with Jeff Bilberry and Will Cavan. That is already up for you over on the Facebook page. Tanner, as he's got 78,000 other jobs, as he can get them on the Facebook page, he will get them on the Facebook page. But please be patient. We are working on a bit of a shoestring staff this week. I say this week, but that's sort of how Gene rolls. He kind of likes doing that all the time. We'll get back at it again tomorrow morning. Slap a bow on this thing called a work week with your Friday edition of A Morning Without Mike Winters one more time before Mixmaster Mike is back in the captain's chair where he belongs. As for us, Rush Limbaugh up next. You're listening to KEND 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Big thanks to everybody for tuning in. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Till next time, be seeing you.
Your home for Kim Commando in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND.